We looked at all the different investments we had out there. He helped us pull it all together and determine what would work best for our lifestyle.
You don't have to plan your financial future alone.
He's trustworthy and he's very easy to work with.
Call Brian Gawley of Smart Investing Solutions, 306-546-2533.
Your friends at Prairie Gun Traders in Avonlea have exactly what you need this fall. From muzzle loaders, rifles to shotguns, you are totally covered this hunting season. Plus, browse through their great selection of ammunition, optics, calls, trail cams, scents, knives, and more. The hunting store that has it all at Prairie Gun Traders in Avonlea. You have a friend in the game. Main Street, Avonlea, or check out prairieguntraders.ca.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents the all-new Sportscage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Sask Lotteries, bringing communities together. Sask Lottery products fund over 12,000 sports, culture, and recreation groups across Saskatchewan. Be a part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936. 6262. The all-new Sportscage. Streaming at sportscage.com and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Tuesday Sportscage for our friends at Saskatchewan Lotteries. Barney Shinkaruk, Kellen Enslev, Darren Anderson, the C's, and even the Sheriff. 6 of us in the studio today. 3 hours coming at you. We're going to talk about this weather on the show and what it means when it comes to sports. SJHL's canceling games today. That's what we've heard about. If you got any minor hockey games or anything you want us to shout out, hit us up on the Capital Ford Lincoln text line. We can get anything out there that you need. Maybe it's a town versus a town kind of thing. We're here as an information piece, and we are live. 936-6262 is that Capital Ford Lincoln text line. We're still going to talk about the Grey Cup. We're going to talk about the new GM, the new head guy in Edmonton. I know some people messaged us yesterday on the text line and wanted to know more about the Vaughn twins' departure from the Regina Pats. We're going to talk to the general manager of the Regina Pats, Alan Millar, later in hour 1. We are going to have Pats tickets to give away to tomorrow night's game against Tri-City. Hour 2, Arash Madani, SJHL report with Benny Walchuk. Glen Suitor in hour 3, and also Darian Durant in hour 3. So there it is. The show in the next 3 hours. If you miss any of it, you can catch it on podcast form or on YouTube form. And we are streaming it at YouTube. You go to sportscage.com. And as always, we like if you subscribe, hammer that subscribe button. Pat's tickets to give away. We'll come up with something momentarily. The boys are fixing some stuff here. I don't know who wants to go first on this, but you said it's like we're right in the middle of winter.
Yeah, classic Sasky. No winter to right in the middle. Again, I looked at the app today, and it's just like it's not going away now. It's here.
The only way, I don't know, did I mention this yesterday on the show? The only way, I could be almanac guy or pig spleen guy. I knew there was a storm coming this week. I knew it. You know why I knew it?
Your knees were hurting?
Good. No, my goat.
Your goat's
tingling.
back? Your goat's back?
Because I have to go to Winnipeg for a hockey tournament.
Ah, right.
And every time I drive or have to go to Winnipeg for a hockey tournament, ice-covered roads, some sort of storm. Doesn't matter if it's in November. It doesn't matter if it's in March or even early April. Never fails. So I could have told you this months ago that we were going to get some sort of storm this week in Regina. But, can we get into the discussion? Should winter tires be mandatory?
I don't know, Barney. I'm an Easterner, as you know. Proud Toronto Argonaut fan. No, I'm just joking. Jumping on the bandwagon after last week. I said take them on the money line. Something told me. I said money line. You were playing the line, and I was like, you know what? Just go all the way.
I said if I'm getting crazy, I'm getting crazy.
Yeah, I was like, Argo's on the money line for sure. As a proud Rider fan, transport here in the last 10 years, you can't cheer for the Bombers. So therefore it has to be the double blue. But winter tires, I've never had them. So I've just made it through here in my 10 years in Saskatchewan. I've never had winter tires. I do have a new vehicle, so I'm trusting the process here.
You can walk around behind us, Curtis. It's a live studio. Like, it doesn't matter. Walk ahead. Go ahead. What?
Yeah, so Quebec, it's the law, I believe.
Yeah, we looked that up a couple weeks ago.
So that can be the law. I don't know like how you enforce it, I guess. If you get in an accident and didn't have winter tires on, you get an extra ding on your ticket or something. But to me, I've started going the all-weather. So new all-weathers, you don't have to switch them. I was doing this. It's a pain to do this switching.
I switcheroo.
No, I'm telling you, man. Next time you got to you go new all-weather. They're good. And I've just put some new ones on my vehicle. And they're working great today. I was the first time in the snow because I put them on in the summer. So I went from the old school all seasons. Now they're called all weathers. That's my vote.
Like it was, and funny today. There's tons of hockey parents out there that are going to get this. Early morning practices don't have them. I don't put any of that breakfast club or that skating stuff. Maybe that's bad on me. I don't know. I'll let you know in 20 years. But today was the only day that they had a 7 a.m. practice. Luckily, I only had to do the driving the one way, but was it a mess? And slipping and sliding, and that's where I'm like, hey, winter tire. Like, there's some people that are driving their souped up vehicle, probably loud muffler car, it looked like, and just spinning and going nowhere. It's like, that shouldn't be allowed to happen.
No, I agree.
And it gets dangerous. Like, I heard Saskatoon today, Circle Drive was, like, awful. Ring Road here was awful. And then the people that can't, we've all been guilty of it to an extent, but people that don't wipe snow off their vehicle at all. Just let the windshield wipers do their thing. They go to work and nothing else. Can't do that. Yeah, like you cannot. I get that there's a lot of people that this is their first snowfall and they're driving, which is tough. But then I think there needs to be like a referendum or some sort of report on the driving instructors these days. I think they've gotten a lot more lax than when we were kids.
Yeah, I don't remember. That was a long time ago for me. But my kids just went through it, and I don't remember them coming home and telling me, yeah, we learned that we had to scrape our windows. Because they're doing it, like, both of them were doing it in summertime. So, but it's true. And even for me, like, I go to my clients today, you come back out, it's snow everywhere, I park in the garage overnight, so it's fine. Like, I don't know where my scraper is. It's so funny. Like, did I think we were just living in Phoenix now? Like, but...
The greatest, if you don't have a scraper, any kind of card, right? Bank card, get into work card, gift card. That works like a charm.
I'm an outdoor parker, both overnight and throughout the day. And I did not do any brushing today, but I wasn't snow covered. But the problem for me is the way that the snow collects, getting to the front of the car, like I might as well put on my whole snowsuit to get there. So short of like backing up a little bit, like I can get to the door and then backing up and then getting out and scraping. But I preferred the 2-cycle remote start this morning. Get her good and warm, get it melted. But when I just left the Cooperator Center to come over here, she's hip high in the parking lot, and they've got the little bobcats out shoveling off the sidewalks before the evening traffic. But
the real staff
lot is high. So I had to step right into it to come over here. These are the things I do for supporting local radio.
And streaming. The drifts. Yeah, those are going to be nasty. If you're long driveway girl or guy, you're in for it today. This is where you need a snowblower. And just happened, sponsor of the program, Prairie Land Rentals. They have a snowblower sale. Jeremy, we know Jeremy.
Yeah.
Snowblower sale, Husqvarna, like a real good one that's going to last you. Like up to $400 off starting today. Or I think it's today or tomorrow. He said, just bring them in. We can set them up with, I'll honor the deal. Perfect time. And if you didn't get the winter tires, now there'll be a land rush. Like quality tire. sponsor of the program. Cooper Tire, sponsor of the program. You just make the investment. DA saying go all weather, all season?
All weather.
Or
all weather. They're new in the last couple of years.
All weather.
I'm sure Cooper and Quality have all weather.
Sure.
They're mint. And then I don't need to take them off. I can drive on them all summer. And then they're just there when I wake up on this snow day and I don't have the
taking off game sucks. And then I always feel like if you're running them too long into the winter or into the summer, and then that's when the tread goes down and then misses us. It's like, hey, honey, come on, it's May. You got to get those. You got to get those off. It's 33 degrees tomorrow.
My daughter didn't take them off. She's at U of S. She didn't take them off all summer. Had the the cheap rims. I'm like, well, you want to drive this thing around? Go for it.
Just leaving the doors unlocked. No one's coming into this vehicle. I know in Quebec they have it. It was nasty. So on the weather front, let us know. I want to get into this, but see tonight, Yorkton hosting Melfort, SJHL canceled. Weyburn, I said Melfort, right? Yeah, Weyburn hosting Melville, that is canceled, and Battleford's Nipawin is canceled. Kindersley making the trek to Notre Dame to play 2. That one is still a go in the SJHL. Western Hockey League games are still a go. Med Hat at Saskatoon. It's a good game. It's a good measuring. That might be one to watch tonight. Measuring stick there. Tri-Cities at Swift Current. Also still a go. So everything looks good there. Roscoe sent in a picture. Capital Ford Lincoln text line. Where is Roscoe? Do you see this picture he sent in? It looks like it's September. That's definitely Saskatchewan. Looks Saskatchewan. Looks Western Canada anyway. No snow. Like nothing for snow. Roscoe, where are you again? Where are you at here? Somebody sent common sense and studded winter tires eliminates poor conditions. I've never done the studded thing. I just love the studded person that runs them all summer.
I know. Well, it's funny. Our buddy Greg Hazel called me the other day. He's like getting him for his wife. He's like, do you go studded or not? So I'm like getting to the big, I did the all weather.
Tire experts.
But it's hard. Like we need someone to text in with the difference.
Okay, so then if you're a parent out there and your kids played sports, you coach tons of kids. Is this a night that if you got to leave town anywhere, is this a night that you send a message to the team saying no need?
For the most part, yeah. It was interesting you were just talking about Tri-City going to Swift. They were practicing this morning at the Cooperators. So they were making the trek today. They had practiced this morning, made the trip.
Roscoe's in Kindersley. You see Kindersley, the Clippers left there in shorts and T-shirts, and they're making their way down to Wilcox. A little bit different down here, Roscoe. Could send you a picture back. So you would, because the daughter's got a skate in Pence, and it's just like a nothing skate. It's like some extra. And I was like, that rig's not going. No need to do that tonight.
Well, Mark at our buddies at Freeze Tallman, he had beer league hockey in Southie last night, and he was like, no go. Like it started snowing. He's like, why for beer league hockey? I'm not going out in this sleet.
Mark hauls all the way from Regina to Southie for beer league. Well,
he's a Lumsden guy.
He cuts cross country still. Yeah,
but he was like, oh, someone will drive you. He's like, no, this is beer league. The roads are going to be absolute mush.
Text. Changing tires is not difficult. It is if you don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do it.
It's a pain.
It's like changing oil. I've seen it done. I'm like, no, I'll get someone to do that. You need someone to stand up in front of people and read a speech or something? I'm your guy. Change tire thing? Nope.
Host an event. Barney's in. He'll trade you for changing the tires on this car.
Super comfortable. I'm like the guy underneath changing the...
You want a host for your wedding? Barney will trade you. Just come put as many tires on.
DJ
it up.
Heavy rock set, slow and fast songs. Edmonton Elks hire Ed Hervey as their general manager. I thought for what's that?
Head scratcher.
I thought for sure G-Roy was the front runner.
Well, I get it. You got a new owner there. He wants to change things up. Like, I get that point. Okay, I thought, G-Roy and Jarius combined kind of turned the team around a little bit and got them some positive momentum. But I can see a new owner going, you know what, I want to make this my own. But why are you bringing back a guy who's kind of been in several places, had a mediocre overall resume? Like, I don't get that part. I don't know. And maybe he'll do really well. I'm not commenting on Ed Hervey himself. I'm trying to look at this as the new owner and going, did you think this was a splash maybe? I don't know. I don't understand the move, to be honest.
So he won the Grey Cup in 16 with the then Eskimos. 2013 to 16, he was in Edmonton. Wins the Grey Cup, 40-32 records. So he was fired 18 months after. Signs in I forgot about the BC part of his journey. In 17, 2 seasons in BC, 14-22 record. He resigns from his post due to personal reasons. But little nugget comes out about Mike Riley.
Yeah, so he signed Mike Riley to a contract that he never filed with the league. Again, like, okay, it's the CFL. Like, this stuff happens. But I mean,
it's not. Like, if you told me that would have happened in senior hockey or in the Regina Men's Baseball League, yeah,
right.
Like even the Yorkton, what happened there?
Yeah,
I can even
was gonna say, yeah,
slide there. CFL. Let me tell you, we're gonna sign a contract with our starting quarterback. I'm not gonna tell anyone about it.
Yeah.
Especially the league.
I'm gonna keep it in my drawer.
Was there any marketing dollars in that deal? No, we talked about that last week.
Yeah.
There had to be some gray money in there.
Well, if he's not filing the contract with the league.
But this is the previous owner. This is the owner in BC we're talking right now?
Well, right. That happened while he was in BC.
Yeah.
And I don't remember who the owner was back then.
When did Mardoman take over? 19? 18? I don't know.
Was it post-COVID? I don't. Anyways, it's hey, as a Rider fan, did I get nervous when I heard the news? I don't know. Any of you guys feel like, oh no, Edmonton's bound to pass us here? Like, not a scary signing, I guess I'll say. I don't know who would have been, but I also think it's like a merry-go-round. These guys get opportunity after opportunity. There's got to be some young guys out there that are looking to make their mark. But
Doman purchased the Lions in 2021.
So just after COVID.
Just after. It would be interesting if you could do like a deep dive, or if a guy had like a lot of time, or stat nerd guy or whatever, what kind of quarterback he liked as a player, you know?
Yeah.
And then would give maybe some early data to who he was, if you could show the early data, and then you could kind of get an inkling maybe of which way he would lean on that, especially the Trey Ford, which I don't know. I don't know if he is necessarily a starter yet.
Well, he's not. I'm not, again, Rider hat on, not scared of Trey Ford yet. He's got some special skills, but he hasn't put it all together, we can say, with some honesty. But again, I assume that part of the interview was talking about that. He's got to go to the owner and say, this is who I have in my list for coaches. This is the type of quarterback. This is who I want to go after. This is how I want to build this franchise to become successful again. And obviously, a better plan. This guy thought it was a better plan than what G-Roy had. Interesting, though.
And I wonder if Chris Morris, who they just hired out of the University of Alberta, if they had a relationship somewhere along the line. I'm like, I wouldn't know. Yeah, a little bit of a head scratcher. Like, I thought for sure it was G-Roy's job to lose. And then where does he go? Yeah, does he go heavy free agency? What does he do with the quarterback position?
Yeah, I don't know. To be honest, quietly Toronto's been pretty dominant. I mean, Winnipeg and Toronto have been, in the last 5 years, quite dominant. And so you could see them trying to steal the next in line from there as a splash, right? Okay, Grey Cup's over. We went and got, Wade Millar's protege out of Winnipeg, or we went and stole
Corey Mace,
someone from
like
MLA.
we did.
Well, right. On the coaching side, but on the GM side, again, bringing back Ed Hervey is a head scratcher to me.
What was your take on the Grey Cup?
The better team won.
Yeah.
I think the whole quarterback thing obviously threw everyone for a loop, but Toronto and Montreal are just much better than all the teams in the West this year, and they were all year. They're a better team. They're well coached, both teams, and Winnipeg. Winnipeg wasn't great this year. Like they've been dominant. Don't get me wrong, but they weren't great this year. And
hey,
Zach wasn't great this year either.
We're on live radio. Why don't you come on? What did you think of the Grey Cup? Mark Johnson, everybody. He does. He does. Come over here. What did you think of that Grey Cup? Did you get asked? Did you ever get asked to go in host the Grey Cup by chance?
Yeah. If the Riders made it, I was going to be there. Sadly, they didn't. But the second best outcome of the CFL season happened. The Bombers lost. That's all that matters. Life is good for us Rider fans, right? Is that how you want it?
You do a great job.
Thanks.
By the way,
it's nice in here, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, come back anytime, Mark. Open door policy, legit. It's open today. I was wondering though if he got asked to go and do the in studio at the Grey Cup, because when Boz, who comes on the program once in a while, Monday Nooner fame, always auction season, he got asked to do the Memorial Cup, but you were there. Would that have been just an easy thing? But the Memorial Cup people don't want any kind of schlub doing it.
Yeah, it would have been interesting the year before we hosted if there was any level of, going to Windsor. Because obviously this is a bit of a different circumstance. Like Mark would be the obvious candidate for a Grey Cup in Saskatchewan and at Mosaic. But as the team travels, it makes you wonder about the value of playing in a neutral site, bringing some level of the home crowd, home experience. Not that the in-stand host really has a lot of effect on the players per se, but in terms of the fans that travel, it's sort of an added game of value, game experience situation. If you're in-stand host and your cheerleaders and your mascots and
I've always noticed this at the Grey Cups I'm at. So the league does their intros, right? Like that's a big part of the game for me. You're getting play what the team does. I don't get it. If the Riders are in it, bring them out, get the fans that are there. To your point,
don't
make
change
the
it up.
Experience, and then let the other team do theirs too. So now you got both teams' entrances. This is how we come out at home. Get the fans riled up. Same with the in-stadium announcers. Same kind of idea, right? Is that you're bringing that familiarity to the fans who've traveled to watch that game. There's always going to be, right? Let's call it half the fans there. Not a fan of either team, a fan of someone else. But I don't know. I always thought that was a good idea to try and bring those traditions from the home stadiums to the Grey Cup.
When we hosted the Memorial Cup, the teams, each of the four teams, Regina plus the other three, provided their home goal song. So they got their goal song and they provided their intro video. The question becomes the next step, which is, I agree 100% with what you're saying, DA, is then you start to have the argument, well, we want to be the introduction that's the closest to the kickoff. We don't want to be first. We don't want our players to have to stand on the field while Bring 'Em Out plays, even though they do every time they go to Saskatchewan. So then it becomes a question of, well, who gets announced first? And are the New England Patriots being introduced as a team?
But I think that's where it starts and ends. You're introduced as a team.
Oh, right. I like that too. And the Riders in 13 did that. They got fined because the league said they wanted each individual player to come out. And Darian, we should ask him. Darian brought the whole team out at once, said, come on, we're all coming out here. I heard that the team really pushed to bring them out. And obviously when it's in your own barn, now you want to change it, probably not the year, but I think it would have added to the whole event.
Did you hear Ryan Pollock when he was in here on Friday co-hosting? What he did that because he was part of that 13, and they all came down the hallway there, and they were going to the other hall, whatever, at the old stadium, and there was these 3 guys standing in front, and he's like, hey, move it. And he's got, like, all the old linemen behind him. Like, you got a semi-truck of bodies coming. And he's like, move it. And they didn't move. And basically, he just threw this one guy into the wall. Like, get out of the way. And it was Jacob Hogard from Headley.
That's funny. In jail now.
Just got out of jail, I think. Yeah. So he probably remembers. Colson's trying to get him on the program. See if he remembers that. Let's take a quick break. This is the all-new Sports Cage. Kellen, Darren, Barney, the C's, and the Sheriff here today, streaming at sportscage.com.
The all-new Sports Cage is brought to you by Sherwood Co-op, proud supporter of our community with over 500 donations to local charities and nonprofits annually.
620 CKRM on location.
Well, hello once again. It's Cody Glyden broadcasting from the Leroy Leisure Lotto. $130,000 could be awarded to you on Saturday night. All the draws happening at 8 o'clock. They got a special supper and everything planned here in Leroy. They always do it up right here. And you could be getting that phone call. Wouldn't that be something if you did get that phone call? Somebody has to win. It may as well be you, but it won't be you if you don't grab that ticket. Now, there are 34 chances to win, so that's pretty good. Starts off with the 10 draws of $500, then into the 20 draws of $1,000. Then there's that third prize of $5,000, that second prize of the hot tub or $10,000, and then the grand prize, that leisure package, or $130,000, and there's a 50-50 on top of all of that. Tickets $100 each, 3 for $250. Call right now, 1-866-925-3769. That's 1-866-925-3769.
What type of vehicle should you use for a fall hayride?
I bet you're going to be punny.
An automobile?
Ugh. Whatever type of vehicle you drive, fuel up at Sherwood Co-op gas bars.
As a member, fueling up means
sharing in the equity.
Buy a car wash or some snacks from the C-store.
It's like putting money in the bank.
You better believe it.
Sherwood Co-op gas bars.
We are members.
We are owners.
We are Sherwood Co-op.
And now diving for Team Rat.
Barry, get down from there.
Why? The family left an entire pot of gravy out here just cooling in the garage.
I know, but it's not for us. Just because they won't call Busy Bee and get their garage door fixed doesn't mean we should take such liberties.
Okay. Whoa! 10 points.
Call Busy Bee Doors. They can fix or replace any commercial or garage door.
Just get out of there. We just won't tell them.
Busy Bee Doors, the garage door specialists.
Sask Lotteries has 50 years of winning behind us. And you know what that means? Lots of winning numbers. Numbers like over 1,200 organizations funded and 12,000 plus groups supported. $6 million given away annually in community grants. And the winningest number of all? $1.4 billion given back to the people of Saskatchewan through sport, culture, and recreation. And we're just getting started. Help us grow the next 50. Learn more at sasklotteries.ca.
The wait is finally over. Year-end clear-out is back at Capital Ford Lincoln. Get savings up to $20,000 on all remaining 2024s like the Ford F-150 or Ford Bronco lineup. Drive away today with $0 down and no payments until next year. Plus, we have a giant selection of pre-owned trucks and SUVs. You're going to find the perfect vehicle for you. It's finally back. Year-end clear-out at Capital Ford. CapitalFordLincoln.com.
Welcome back to the all-new Sports Cage. Connect with the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262.
Welcome back, Sports Cage. Man, I love the Leroy Lotto. That's where Cody's out right now, grinding in the Leroy. I had a really good time. I went out there once when the lottery was on. Nice little tavern, what you would expect. New rink out there. So, yeah, Cody's doing yeoman's work in Leroy. I'm not sure what the snow count is up there, but I think it was pretty widespread, except for Roscoe who texted in. Okay, text line says maybe Dion. Yeah, Dion, it's his name. That's what it says. A lifelong Eskimo fan here in Regina. The said Hervey hitting, probably hiring, was expected and loved by Esk fans. Okay, all of them. The new owner, Larry Thompson, was going back to the Eskimo way. That's why they brought in Morris as president and Hervey as assistant VP and GM. Also look for Campbell to be the new head coach.
And Warren Moon to be the quarterback.
I was just going to say.
Going back. Gizmo Williams.
Gizmo Williams got some gas.
No, but that's good. Thanks for that, Dion, to give us a little light into what an Eskimo fan, Elks fan is thinking in this day. That kind of makes sense.
Hey, if I understand the premise, just going back and picking people who've done it before, like the league's changed. And I know we were going to talk NFL too, right? And it's just like, the game's changed, players are changing. Oh, we'll see if it works. Again, wearing my Rider fan hat, big shrug for me. Not too worried about this move. And if Edmonton thinks they're going to go backwards to become better, go for it. Go for it. I don't, does Ed have a bunch of contacts down south right now? I don't know what he's been doing. Again, they need some talent. They need to find some talent, and it's not going to be Gizmo.
What if Campbell is hired as head coach?
Oh, that's a big if. You think he's going to get the boot in BC? I mean, I could see it. I'm just...
Well, or can he maybe ask for... could be like a junior hockey player these days and ask to not come back?
Well, right. Hey, big get if they get Campbell, big get.
And then does that mean that they might get VA?
Well, right. If that's what they're again,
scrap the other two, wash your hands.
Yeah, we're going to go get VA and bring in a running, thrilling, going to win you some games, lose you some games talent. I'm all for that. I'd get VA
Call it like
here.
you said.
Again, VA, I've put in my Rider hat on. God, I'd take VA.
You think that's in play? What percentage out there, and this could Rider fans chime in here, because I was thinking this, what percentage could that be in play that Vernon Adams Jr. is a Rider next year?
It's for 100% as a percentage. It's probably, it all depends how aggressive
20?
the team wants to be. Yeah, 20, 25. Here's the thing. BC doesn't want to trade him in the West if they don't have to. So if you've got someone in the East willing, a.k.a. Ottawa, right, wanting to make a strong pitch, they're going to... The chances they send Campbell and VA to Edmonton, 5% chance of that happening? The Riders have a better chance, but they'd have to go big.
I just don't know enough on the inner workings of the league with the limited amount of teams. At what point do you not have a lot of bargaining power that you just say, we gotta send them there?
Oh, I agreed. I think what you do as a GM is you try and get the biggest deal you can. Say it's for picks. Let's just make it easy. You get as much picks as you can, and then you phone Ottawa and say, will you give me these ones because I got that offer from the Riders?
Oh, absolutely.
No,
and lie.
I won't. Well, right.
You inflate it by 2.
Because that's how you make your owner happy, is you go, I got the best deal and I got to send him to Ottawa, so we're only going to see him. We're probably only going to see him once, twice a year, and then maybe in the Grey Cup. And if you're in the Grey Cup, you're in the Grey Cup.
We're going to call Alan Millar here in a bit from the Regina Pats. We're going to get into some talk on trading in the Western Hockey League, because it's starting to amp up the discussion on what players are going where. Blades have a couple. Moose Jaw is definitely going to be selling, and then they are going to restock the cupboards, as the kids say. It's really not the kids, but everybody says nowadays, with a bunch of picks. And isn't it kind of like, what am I missing in this, Kellen? If you do it right, you kind of grab the guys, you make the run, then if you have a couple of them back next year, then you replenish.
I think that's the intent, and I think, unfortunately for our Pats, and whether Alan will go down this road or not, we sort of got double stymied. So we did it the right way, We talk about the new ownership change coming in 2014. They moved those top-end guys that first year, Dryden Hunt, Kyle Burrows, Connor Gay, Morgan Klemchuk. They did it the right way. They built the right way. We're very well on our way to winning a WHL title in 2017 with that team. There were some players that are now NHLers who were as good as traded for. There was a goaltender at World Juniors playing for Canada who had been told, or he has said, that he had been traded to Regina. And then suddenly the ominous Memorial Cup discussion came from the ownership group and the idea of hosting in 2018. And the unfortunate part of that in terms of timing was that the 2018 Memorial Cup was the 100th anniversary of the Memorial Cup. And so the CHL went away from their normal process and made it a nationwide pitch. And in doing so, they got themselves about 6 months behind the normal cycle. And I can remember being in the end of February in Cancun when they announced that we were hosting the following year. The problem with the end of February, we were 6 weeks past the trade deadline. So John Paddock and Dave Struch went out on that trade deadline as the number one team in the country looking to hybrid. So instead of a Caleb Jones, you're trading for 2-year guys. Josh Mahura, who was a phenomenal player, no criticism there, but guys like Jonathan Smart, Dawson Davidson, guys who were going to be valuable now, but still around next year. And you weren't able to make the big splash for the high-end players that were out there, which made it sort of tough. Had we just, hindsight's 2020, but we could have traded Adam Brooks at that deadline and wouldn't have changed our outcome in the playoffs. No fault to Adam Brooks. He got hurt in the second round. He didn't play the whole round against Swift Current. Then he played a little bit in Lethbridge, and then was out almost the entire Seattle series again. So
is that when Ottenbright hit him?
Ottenbright, he got hit originally by somebody in a knee-on knee in Swift Current, and then he got hit by Ottenbright in the league final. So had we moved a guy like Adam Brooks, then we would have looked awfully good in the Memorial Cup year. And then we did make the moves after the Memorial Cup, trading away Jake Lasician, Nick Henry, which got us Connor Bedard. And then we did a bit of a hybrid, like, hey, we're going to try and get you some talent. The players that they elected to get and what they were willing to give up at that time didn't quite pay the dividends that they had hoped, and now some of those players have cycled back out. So I think, Alan has done an unbelievable job, in my opinion, as a casual Pats fan since he came on, of starting to restock, and I think it's a proper rebuild now. And I'm hopeful that they can continue to follow the path here to build a team that's a contender in the next couple of years.
We'll talk to him in a bit. Big Cancun in February guy, eh? Little Cerveza, Senior Frogs. I like it. It's the all-new Sports Cage. We're going to talk to the general manager of the Regina Pats when we get back, streaming at sportscage.com.
620 CKRM on location.
It's Cody Glyden. We are broadcasting from Leroy for the Leroy Leisure Lotto. If you happen to be in the Leroy area, well, you probably don't want to be on the roads too much longer. But if you are here, you can stop on by Leroy Town Hall, buy your ticket in person. And the best bet, though, is just to be in the safety and comfort of your own home. Get your Visa, MasterCard ready and call toll-free. $130,000 is the grand prize. Second prize is that hot tub or $10,000. You know what? If you can't go to a nice resort in the wintertime like Cancun, for example, well, maybe you can have a little piece of Cancun in your backyard with that nice hot tub. Third prize is $5,000. There's the jackpot cash draws, 30 cash draws in total. The 50-50 take-home was over $48,000 last year. So think about what you could do with that money. What would you do if you won $130,000? But don't think about it too long, because as each hour passes, there's less and less tickets for you. 1-866-925-3769. 1-866-925-3769.
You don't go to Country Thunder to see your favorite artist. You go to Country Thunder to see all your favorite artists. Country Thunder Saskatchewan returns with Def Leppard, Jason Aldean, Bailey Zimmerman, plus Nate Smith, Tyler Hubbard, Kip Moore, Tim Hicks, and so many more. Guarantee your spot. Country Thunder Saskatchewan, July 10th to 13th in Craven. Tickets at countrythunder.com.
When you want the best for your truck, you want Line-X. Your truck has withstood the harshest elements Saskatchewan has thrown at it. Rocks, gravel, rain, sleet, and snow, and left with no chips, no rust. Line-X protective coating keeps your truck's bed liners, rocker panels, and bumpers looking like brand new. Don't settle for Brand X. Go with Line-X. It's serious protection. Come see why everybody loves taking their truck to Line-X Regina for their rocker panels, bumpers, and more. Line-X. Make your truck complete. 1865 McCarra Street.
Arcola Co-op has you ready for your deck renovations. Whether it be a new build or yearly maintenance, Arcola Co-op has you covered. Everything from decking boards, framing projects, hardware, cement pads, anything for your deck. Get ready for summer at home or at the cottage with a new or refreshed deck from Arcola Co-op. With delivery to Kenosee and White Bear. Open Monday to Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Arcola Co-op on Highway 13 since 1916. Arcola Co-op Home Center. You're at home here.
We want your business on board for the Harvard Media online auction. It's easy. All you've got to do is provide items like gift cards, experiences, services, or whatever cool product you have. And in exchange, we'll give you a world-class marketing campaign. No entry fee or cash outlay, just a good old trade deal. That hammer could be coming down for you. Just hit up harvardmedia.com and join in on all the excitement. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back to the all-new Sportscage. Get social with us. Follow us on X at Sportscage. Watch our video stream at sportscage.com and always on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Welcome back to the all-new Sportscage on this Tuesday. Regina Pats are back in action tomorrow night against Tri-City. Tri-City is making the trek to Swift Current probably as we speak here. Hopefully the roads are okay with them. We are giving away 2 tickets to the Pats game tomorrow night. Everyone that texts in, or you just text in 936-6262. Let us know what you think about the weather, about the Pats, about the Riders, anything. And just say I want to go to the Pats game, and then you'll be entered to win. And Sheriff will do the draw a little bit later. The story, we talked about it yesterday, was the Regina Pats. Jackson Vaughn traded to Everett in exchange for a first-round pick and a player that was a former first-round pick. Pretty brilliant. There was an issue that he didn't want to be here anymore because his brother Corbin didn't want to be here anymore. So it's kind of a messy situation, but it is junior hockey. And luckily enough, we got the general manager of the Regina Pats, Alan Millar, on the phone with us. He's out cruising around right now. What's the weather like? You were in Alberta last I checked with Dante. This storm was pretty wide stretching. Are you grinding in the storm, Al?
No, I'm just coming into Medicine Hat. I'm going to the Tri-City at Swift Current game tonight. And right now it's sunny and clear.
Nice. I'm sure you're somewhat getting sick of answering this and talking about this, and there's only so much you can say, but the way that it's been described, and we played it yesterday, there was an issue, a hockey-related issue. We heard it was at practice with Corbin Vaughn that led to him and his representation basically saying they no longer wanted to be a Regina Pat.
Well, first off, I'll say I'm not, I'll never get sick of talking about it as much as I don't like what has happened. I'm not sick of talking about it because I think the transparency to, in particular, our fan base is important in this situation. And, so in saying that, guys, we had a hockey-related matter, an incident in practice. And as a result of that, we suspended Corbin Vaughn indefinitely from our team. And as part of that, the player indicated that he didn't want to. If we were gonna handle this situation like we were, he wasn't sure that he wanted to play here any longer. So from there, I had conversations with his representation. Let them know that our position was that he was suspended indefinitely, and we were more than willing to engage in trade discussions regarding Corbin Vaughn. So we left it at that in regards to Corbin. And then obviously with the dynamic of the twins, you guys recall that they had to be drafted together, identical twins, our unique relationship. I asked the agent to clarify Jackson's status with our team. Jackson was still part of our team. He was expected to get on the bus the next day to go to Brandon. Because of the position we had taken with his brother, he indicated that he did not want to remain in Regina as well. So from there we began trade discussions and culminated a trade with Everett on Jackson that we're very pleased with. And we continue to deal with the possible trade of Corbin.
Thanks for clearing that up. You can hit the no comment button at any time, but I want to ask you, guys, anybody that's been in a hockey dressing room, junior, minor pro, whatever, there's a lot of, personalities, characters a lot of times. And then sometimes you can kind of see this stuff coming from a ways out. Maybe a guy doesn't want to be here, or he's just not, jiving with guys. Can you answer that, Al? Did you get any inkling that this was kind of we were going to come to a boiling point here? No, we didn't. I think, I look at the week before this happened. Both Vaughns were with, our staff and half our team, at Sold Harbor, helping people in need at the soup kitchen. I think both young guys, they've got some character to them in a good way. They obviously play the game hard. They've got some old school mentality in the way they play. Certainly there's been times where discipline has been a factor. But really at the end of the day, there wasn't so much a culmination to a boiling point as much as, and when I describe a hockey-related matter, I want to keep it to that. I'm, not going to get into details about exactly what happened. But, that was the main factor here in terms of what happened. We felt we needed to deal with it severely and quickly and appropriately. And a player from being suspended from our team doesn't necessarily mean they're not going to play for us again. It certainly could lead to that based on our decision, not the players. But the player immediately, whether it was a defense mechanism or whatever, just took the position that he didn't want to play in Regina any longer, and so that's how it played out.
Alan Kellen here, pivoting away from the Vaughn situation. Over the last couple weeks, there's been the movement with the CHL NCAA agreement. Talk about, as a general manager, how this could change the recruitment, especially, Regina's always been a destination or a team that's drafted a lot of American players. Both the recruitment, but then also on the back end, the opportunities that exist for American players to potentially leave CHL teams in season to go to NCAA markets.
Yeah, I think it's something we've been talking about for a while. I think it's something we knew that was going to happen. I think, as a team, you need to adapt in terms of, expanding your network in the U.S., understanding the recruitment process of players from Dallas to Colorado, Arizona to Minnesota. I think that it gives us the ability where, a lot of the best young players in North America are going to play in the CHL. You need to have a great program, to keep your players through their 19-year-old year. I think there's a lot of things that are going to change the landscape here in terms of where players play and their development path and those types of things. I think it could be real good for the game if it's handled properly. I think the development model for young players from 16 to 22, 23 years old, the ability to play 3 or 4 years in the CHL and then potentially 3 or 4 years in the NCAA, I think it's a win-win for the players. The big thing for me as a manager right now is I just don't want chaos. I don't think we're going to be able to avoid the potential recruiting battles and poaching of players during the season. I would much rather see a player transfer agreement in place, but with all the antitrust stuff with the NCAA and the portal and that probably is not going to happen. So it's something we're going to have to deal with, but I certainly think that it has the ability to make our league better and have the best young players in North America play major junior hockey.
And quickly here, Alan, just as a follow-up, the benefits that this could have for midget AAA as well, because obviously if we can get more quality players into the league, there isn't going to be such a forcing of the younger kids up into the Western League, which could improve the development model at the midget AAA level as well.
Well, I think it's, I think what you're saying, and I agree, is that it has the ability. When I say that it can change the landscape of the development of a young player through his CHL career and into either pro or U Sport or the NCAA, it puts a lot of players in their right place. And so you're not rushing young players into your lineup. It can make under 18 hockey that much better. If you get to a point where the best of the best 16-year-olds play in the league, not necessarily filling out a roster with 16-year-old players, which sometimes can happen. But I think it puts everybody in their place, the right place in terms of what's in the best interest of the development. And I think if there was a way to work together, it could really benefit the player. Like you just take a look at what a young player at 22 or 23, maybe what that would be considered a late bloomer, what that player could look like, after 4 years in the CHL and then some time in NCAA hockey, what that player could look like in terms of what the NHL thinks of him. I think it could be great.
Yeah.
But I think there's obviously some things that could be tough to deal with or frustrating along the way. There'll be an onus on everybody's individual programs, in terms of, their facilities, how they manage their teams, their player environment, all those things to have a high-end program to make sure you can keep your players through 19 because now they're going to have the ability and in all likelihood be recruited to leave as early as 18 years old, and that can be a real difficult situation to deal with.
Well, we could go on for a while here. We're up against the clock and up against news. Al, thanks so much for taking some time today. Safe travels from Swift, and then wherever you're coming, if you're coming back here tomorrow, and we'll catch up with you again.
Great. Thanks, gents. Have a good day.
You too. Regina Pats General Manager Alan Millar joining us on the all-new Sportscage, streaming at sportscage.com.
620 CKRM on location.
Hi there, it's Cody Glyden back here in Leroy for the Leroy Leisure Lotto. And you know something? We're just over a month away from Christmas. If you've been thinking about Christmas and you'd like to maybe fly some family home, or maybe you'd like to go and visit some family but you don't have the funds to do so, well, maybe the Leroy Leisure Lotto is the answer. Maybe they can help you out. Grand prize, $130,000. That would definitely fly some family home or get you from A to B. Second prize, also a fantastic choice here between a hot tub or $10,000. Third prize, $5,000. Then there are those 30 cash draws. Plus, there's that 50-50 jackpot. Last year's jackpot was up over $48,000 take home. Wouldn't that be nice as we approach Christmas season? Just think of the smiles that you're going to have on your face when you finally see that someone special get off the airplane. That could be you. 1-866-925-3769. 1-866-925-3769.
Sometimes everything can look perfect on the outside, but inside, things could definitely be better. Luckily, Freeze Tobin has everything you need to finish those indoor renovations this fall. That's right, interior reno season is here. So head to Freeze Tallman for all the insulation, drywall, interior doors, baseboards, and casing materials you need to make your home cozy and welcoming for the long winter months that lie ahead. Visit freezetallman.com or see them in Regina or Fort Capel. Freeze Tallman. Let's get you building.
Plan to stop in at Young's Equipment Incorporated and learn about Highline's user-friendly, high-quality equipment, like bale processors, TMR feed mixers, and bale handling equipment. If you're in livestock production, Highline's quality products focus on cost savings and efficiency for your farm. Check them out at Young's Equipment Incorporated, your authorized Case IH and Highline dealer, or find them online at youngs.ca today. Highline Manufacturing, designed with purpose.
It's 4:01. Good afternoon. There's some light snow and blowing snow in Regina, and it's -6. I'm Corey Atkinson from the Harvard Media News Center with 620 CKRM News for Sherwood Co-op. Proud supporter of our community with over 500 donations to local charities and nonprofits annually, and by Mercedes-Benz Regina, for those who can. Mercedes-Benz-Regina.ca. The RCMP is saying that between 7 a.m. and 2:30 p.m. today, they received 44 reports of motor vehicle collisions and incidents throughout the province. The most common of those incidents were vehicles in the ditch and jackknifed semis. No injuries were reported to police at this time. The southbound lanes of Highway number 16 at Beam Road, northwest of Saskatoon, are currently closed. The northbound lanes of Highway 11, north of Bethune, are also closed. Starting at 6 a.m. Wednesday, parking on Regina's designated snow routes is prohibited for 24 hours. The ban enables city crews to plow major streets efficiently, ensuring safer travel and access for emergency vehicles. Snow routes are identified by blue signs with a white snowflake. Vehicles parked on these streets during the ban risk tickets and possible towing. For updates, residents can download the Sweep and Plow app, sign up for alerts at regina.ca/snowroutes, or follow the city on Facebook and Twitter. The ban ends at 6 a.m. on Thursday, November 21st. Every square inch of the Real District will be used for the Canadian Western Agribition. The CEO of Agribition, Sean Kindop, notes the trade show is sold out.
We have over 130 new exhibitors for people to come and look at. So, being the last big thing before Christmas, it's great to come and check those things off from your Christmas list or be able to put some items onto your Christmas list.
The first day of Agribition, which is next Monday, is free admission courtesy of CN Rail. WestJet announced that it is increasing flights out of Saskatchewan as part of its 2025 summer schedule. The president and CEO of the Regina Airport, James Bogus, says part of the increase can be attributed to a new fare class introduced in June.
Which means you can buy an ultra cheap, basically an inexpensive fare to many of these Canadian cities, and it's to compete directly with the remaining low-cost carrier in Canada, which is Flair Airlines.
The summer schedule has more flights out of Regina and Saskatoon to other major cities across Canada. Representatives from Canada Post and the Postal Workers Union sat down with a special mediator yesterday, but seemed no closer to reaching a deal as a countrywide strike enters its 5th day. In a statement, Canada Post said the parties remain far apart, but that the Crown Corporation continues to aim for a deal hammered out at the bargaining table. And Carrie Underwood's Las Vegas residency show will be featured in a streaming concert special. Reflection, the Las Vegas residency, will feature her Vegas show with its pyrotechnics, special effects, and an elevating waterfall. The special runs on Hulu starting in January. Underwood will end her Vegas residency on April 12th. She will join the judges panel on American Idol starting on March 9th. That's your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620ckrm.com. Your weather is next.
What type of vehicle should you use for a fall hayride?
I bet you're going to be punny.
An automobile?
Ugh.
Whatever type of vehicle you drive, fuel up at Sherwood Co-op gas bars.
As a member, fueling up means
sharing in the equity.
Buy a car wash or some snacks from the C-store.
It's like putting money in the bank.
You better believe it.
Sherwood Co-op gas bars.
We are members.
We are owners.
We are Sherwood Co-op.
Put yourself in the driver's seat of the sporty Mercedes-Benz CLA 250, the timeless C300, or the versatile GLC 300 SUV. The choice is yours. Now leasing your new Mercedes-Benz is easier than ever. For $399 bi-weekly plus tax and zero down, you can step into the luxury you deserve. Your luxury, your choice. Your Mercedes-Benz. Book your test drive today.
And now your 620 CKRM precision weather forecast for Linex Regina. Serious protection, killer looks, 1865 McCarra Street, and brought to you by Wolf Industries, your truck repair specialist in Grenfell, servicing all sizes of trucks, SGI accredited. Tonight, another 3 to 6 centimeters of snow possible, and the winds gusting up to 70 at times with a low of -11. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy with some flurries, a high of -10 early, and then the temperature will be steady. And tomorrow night, partly to mostly cloudy with a low of -13. At this hour in Moose Jaw, it's mostly cloudy. Winds are from the northwest at 38, gusting to 50, and it's -5. Regina has some light snow and blowing snow. Winds are from the northwest at 43, gusting to 59, and it's -6. For more local news that matters to you, subscribe to the daily newsletter at sasktoday.ca.
Whether Smokey's after you or not, when you're on the road in your big rig, you're in a hurry to get to where you're going, and you need a part shop you can trust. Wolf Industries is the premium choice. They're your family-run truck mechanic shop with a full line of parts for big semis, with certified AC technicians for the hot summer. Stop in at their Grenfell location for all the parts and repairs you need. They're SGI accredited for safety inspections and have 24-hour emergency call-out. Wolf Industries, the best for your truck. 10-4.
When you want the best for your truck, you want Line-X. Your truck has withstood the harshest elements Saskatchewan has thrown at it. Rocks, gravel, rain, sleet, and snow, and left with no chips, no rust. Line-X protective coating keeps your truck's bed liners, rocker panels, and bumpers looking like brand new. Don't settle for Brand X. Go with Line-X. It's serious protection. Come see why everybody loves taking their truck to Line-X Regina for their rocker panels, bumpers, and more. Line-X. Make your truck complete. 1865 McCarra Street.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents the all-new Sports Cage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Sask Lotteries, bringing communities together. Sask Lottery products fund over 12,000 sports, culture, and recreation groups across Saskatchewan. Be a part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The all-new Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Welcome back. All-new Sports Cage. Barney Shinkaruk, Darren Anderson, Kellen Enslev, CNC Production family / company, and the Sheriff Allen. 6 of us here today. Luckily, this is a big studio. Don't forget, SJHL tonight. If you're going out to the Melville game, Weyburn in town, been postponed due to the weather. If you haven't been outside yet, you have no idea. If you have been driving today, it's been nasty everywhere. Yorkton, Melfort also postponed, as is the Battlefords in Nipawin. The only game in the SJ that's a full go right now, Kindersley is in Notre Dame. Western Hockey League this evening, Medicine Hat takes on the Saskatoon Blades. That's an interesting watch. If you're in the Saskatoon area and can get moving on your winter tires, get in and watch that one. And then Tri-City is in Swift Current to take on the Broncos. We just talked to General Manager of the Pats, Alan Millar, and he said that's the game that he is going to. Hopefully he gets a chance to hit up Wong's and orders the Bolo Gai Q, which is probably the best Asian dish that you can get in southwestern Saskatchewan. NHL tonight, Oilers Sens. Oilers on a 2-game slide. Lost 3-0 to Montreal last night. Glad I didn't get to the sprinkle bucket on that one because I would have lost some hefty cash. Jets hosting the Panthers, trying to rebound after dropping 2 in Florida. Islanders are at the Flames, and Rangers visit the Canucks. JT Miller left for personal reasons. with the Canucks. So those are your Canadian teams in action tonight. Connor Bedard's Hawks take on the Ducks this evening. Full rundown there. If we're missing anything, get us on the Capital Ford Lincoln text line 936-6262 if you know any cancellations, or heck, we'll even give road reports at this point because it's still coming down here in downtown Regina.
The all-new Sports Cage and Coast to Coast with Arash Madani is brought to you by Smart Investing Solutions. Be smart with your money. Call Brian Golly at Smart Investing Solutions, 546-2533.
There he is, Arash Madani. Okay, first quick question. Are you still in Vancouver?
I'm not. I'm out of Vancouver.
Second question, where do you rank that Grey Cup as far as, personally for you?
I thought it was as unentertaining a Grey Cup as we've had in a long time. And I fully blame Mike O'Shea and Buck Pierce for it.
What about the events around the Grey Cup? Because that's where I think a town really has a chance to, lack of permission, let its hair down and kind of show you what it's all about. Vancouver, it looked fun. Like that convention center looked buzzing, everything like that. Like what about that? Where would you rank it, Arash?
Yeah, honestly, standard, Barney. They know what they're doing. It's almost like they're a combo platter. It's copying and pasting kind of what works and what matters. It's the same standard parties. They have some, they had a zip line. They had a few other things kind of going on there. But they put it right in the middle of the fairway. They hit even par. No bogeys, no birdies, middle of the pack.
Okay, so for the game, and I think, DA, you and I talked about this in hour one. I thought Toronto was by far the better team. I thought their game plan reminded me of how Winnipeg game planned against Saskatchewan the week before. And they weren't able to do the things that we expected. From your lens, did Toronto win it? Did the Bombers give it away? What are you thinking there?
I don't want to stay on the fence on this. I'd say both. And this is why Winnipeg absolutely gave it away. It was coaching malpractice by O'Shea and Buck Pierce. How that went. Barney, the most outstanding player in the Canadian Football League had 9 carries until garbage time. From 3 minutes left in the third quarter until the last minute of the game, Brady Oliveira had one carry. And doing so with your quarterback having his finger gushing blood and all messed up and needed a glove and couldn't grip the football and couldn't throw. Look at this for those on the stream. Look at this. Oliveira was running aggressive. He was running violent. He was running through the A-gap. He was gaining yards. I think for his first 9 carries, he was gaining 8 or 9 yards a touch. What are you doing? The plot was lost. Zach couldn't throw. Here it is. The first throw. Oh, no, that wasn't it. But the first throw was Zach wearing a glove. The ball just hovered in the air forever, and it got picked off. Just horrible coaching by Winnipeg in large part. That's why they did not win this championship. And Ryan Dinwiddie coached a masterpiece, Barney. He just kept Nick Arbuckle within himself, let him do his thing.
I thought that Caleros, the ball was totally underthrown, fingers swollen, frozen, stitches, and then a glove on. But then he also kind of threw the same pass earlier in the game that was picked off as well. He was just off. I know his speech in the locker room, and it was the rah-rah, but he didn't have any mojo from what I saw.
Look at this is the first throw for those on the stream. First throw that he made come out the glove. That ball looked like something you'd expect, a double-A baseball player on a shallow fly ball to center. That's how long that thing lingered in the air for. Look at the chase down. It's a hell of a play by Amos, but it's a chase down play from 15 yards behind the target.
Well, and
that's how long that ball, hung in the air.
And to your point, why are you making that long of a throw when his first one
Yep.
coming out of a like? Why aren't you giving him something to test it out? Why are you making him? And maybe it was Collaros' call. I mean, he's open in the moment, but why are you putting that type of throw as your first one with a glove on? Like, why not not an 8-yard curl? See how it feels. I don't know.
Or hand the ball off.
Or hand the ball
here's
off.
Here's the other one, guys. Like, and this is where I'm like, oh my God, the Bombers have lost the plot. So Collaros leaves the game and goes into the locker room, and for an entire series, off a turnover after an amazing Willie Jefferson interception.
Yeah.
They bring in Terry Wilson, the backup quarterback, and they have Terry Wilson throw the ball. What are you doing? The first one nearly gets picked off in the end zone. It's like, wait a minute here. What? Like, this was a game where points were hard to come by. You have the best player in the league right beside the quarterback, and you abandon him.
You know what? When I saw that, the first thing that comes to my mind was, did Terry call it off and call it audible? Because that's a ballsy play to go with the throw there. Maybe element of surprise, I guess. Okay, the three straight losses, and I know there was a lot of dynasty, I mean, about the Bombers. I think we should be talking dynasty for the Argos. We're close to.
Yeah, I'd say it's doomsday for Winnipeg. I mean, like, without hyperbole. Like, Arnie, when we talked on Tuesday, 1 week ago, the Bombers were 10.5-point favorites. They got run out of the gym, losing by 17. The score was nowhere near indicative of what a runaway this thing was. Like, I
thought I was psychotic.
Radio butchering Winnipeg, but like, it's true.
I thought I was psychotic taking the money line. Like, I've never had that rush feeling like a cowboy, sitting sucking on a gin on my couch at home, and I'm like, I'm taking him on the money line. Imagine if you would have had the stones to take an alt line on the other side of minus 10.5 for the Argos. Imagine what that would have paid.
Probably in the plus 800 range.
More.
Man,
yeah.
More. Like, to swing that 21 points. Yeah.
But didn't we talked about it last week? Like, this, I find like this is what happens in the CFL championship game. Like, when you see a 10.5-point line in a CFL championship game, in a Grey Cup game, you got to hit it because crazy things happen in this game.
Yeah, you know what else this little dynasty has done in the CFL the last 3 CFL championship games? They've had a halftime lead that they've blown. Like,
yeah,
if you continue to fail in this second, that makes you a poorly coached team. Full stop.
What did you think of the halftime show?
Well, I saw a sneak peek of what was going on at Shea Barney, and I wasn't dancing the way you were, just beeping and bopping the Jones. I did find it was interesting, though. Like, I'm one of those nerds who studies ratings and viewership and what people are watching. The game peaked at halftime from a rating standpoint. More people watch the Grey Cup telecast at halftime than the rest of the football game. But then again, usually those things peak in the fourth quarter, and there was nothing to watch in the fourth quarter.
That you know what? Kudos to whoever organized it. It looked pro. It looked good. Who are we talking with the other day? Eric Francis said usually they roll out a milk carton and an amplifier for the CFL. Like, this looked actually pretty good. They played a long set, I thought. But anyway, back to the game. Okay, so Arbuckle, I think it was second quarter-ish. No, late first quarter, where I was like, nah, this guy's gonna be okay. Like, this guy's gonna be okay. What for you? Was there one throw that stood out for you? Maybe it was early, maybe it was late.
So we're at practice on Friday, and they're working on red zone stuff. And I'm like, I was really interested, kind of inside the 10, what they were going to do. Like, were they going to work Kadeem Carey, or were they going to throw the football? And they're working on red zone stuff. and you see Dejon Brissett kind of run an option route, and the play didn't work. He and Arbuckle weren't on the same page. One guy zigged, one guy zagged, ball hits the turf. So, I mean, yes, the game was a runaway, whatever, but midway through the fourth quarter, this was still a ball game, right? It was a one-score game. Here come the Argos. They're back inside the 10-yard line, and damn, wouldn't you know it, Arbuckle hits Brissett for a touchdown. Maybe they're inside the 20.
There it is right
Now,
there.
That route did not work in practice. You know what happened on Friday? These two guys went into the meeting room, sat together for about 15, 20 minutes, and talked it through exactly what they wanted to do. Knowing Nick Taylor, number 12, was going to come across the play, and they said, look, if you see Taylor here, this is how we want to work it. If you're going to be in the slot in this spot, this is what we want to do. Barney, they did not rep that play again until the Grey Cup with the game on the line.
Can you play it? Play it one more time. Who's the...
There's Taylor, 12, who comes right across the ball.
Who's the ball that who's the guy that he's kind of throw it over the one guy too, or like, because there's that linebacker. Like that's a tough throw. That is such a tough throw.
That's a veteran. That's Brandon Alexander, 37. Nails it over. By the way, great work, guys, in the back. I don't know if
Curtis,
well done.
Curtis and Colson together today.
Yeah.
CNC.
Overall, I'd say
ball.
2.
Game ball. CNC get the game ball today. One extra lucky logger all around.
All right, Arash. So obviously they're Grey Cup week. Lots of discussions that go on behind the scenes. You know, what are you hearing? We've had some GM news today in the league. What are you hearing about GM coaches possibly moving cities and moving teams?
Yeah, we saw the first domino fall, and everybody was waiting for Edmonton to move first. They just announced it earlier. I was hoping they were going to wait an extra day because I was going to come on and report to you that Ed Hervey was going to be the next GM of the Elks. Would not surprise me if Rick Campbell leaves BC and ends up being Ed Hervey's head coach with the Elks.
And brings VA?
Rick Campbell, son of Hugh, no. I believe it's going to be Trey Ford. I believe VA is going to go to Calgary. That's me reading the tea leaves there. I think.
So do you think Campbell is leaving, or is he getting the boot? Or does it matter?
I think they're, what do they call it? A mutual parting of the ways or something like that. Again, this is my read on the situation.
Yep.
Now, this is where it gets interesting, though. And the reason I'm not definitively reporting this is while I fully believe Rick Campbell's going to Edmonton, the belief is that Ryan Rigmaiden, the assistant GM of the BC Lions, is going to get promoted to GM. Rigmaiden used to work in Winnipeg, and the belief was that Rigmaiden was going to bring Buck Pierce, the Bombers' offensive coordinator, to Vancouver. Pierce used to be the quarterback of the Lions, to be the head coach. After that performance day, does that still remain the case? We'll see. I think part of this is they want a former quarterback working with Nathan Rourke. I think Rigmaiden really likes Buck Pierce. But I've just watched 3 straight Grey Cups where play calling was a real issue. Obviously, there's more to it than just Grey Cup play calling, becoming a head coach, but that's kind of the latest on that front.
I like it. Lots of chew on coming right off the heels of the Grey Cup. Lots to talk about. So quickly then, about what are we hearing about quarterbacks, or what are your thoughts around possible Montreal quarterback moving potentially? Vernon Adams. So you said Vernon Adams to Calgary. Is that sort of the gut feel?
I would say it's more kind of a little more than gut feel. I think it's more kind of conversations that have been going on. I can all but definitively report this, though, fellas. Cody Fajardo is done with the Alouettes.
Whoa!
They're going to move forward with Davis Alexander as their quarterback. Now, unless Cody's willing to stay behind for a significant pay cut and be the backup,
what's significant?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's a very good question. Because
anytime I've been posed that question, my next was what's significant?
Right.
Wow.
Right. And my other read on that was that Jason Moss really wanted to keep Cody, but Danny Machocha liked Davis Alexander, and I think that the GM almost always wins that battle. So Yeah.
Arash, Kellen here. We've talked to a lot of quarterbacks here, and early we talked about Collaros, but how much longer do you think Zach Collaros puts on the blue and gold?
So Zach's now a father of 3. Zach's been hit a lot in his career. Zach's body is pretty beat up. Zach's put in a lot of years in pro football. Like, I was just watching that game on Sunday thinking to myself, man, Zach in 2014 started in this game for Hamilton. And he already had a Grey Cup on his resume at that point as a backup in Toronto. I wouldn't be surprised if after next season, Zach thinks about hanging him up. Like, that body's been through so much. He's got a young family. But you never know, as the wind blows, do guys' minds change? Does the body feel okay, etc.? Zach's a smart guy. He's made some dough. But he took hellacious this year. Remember one in the throat earlier in the year. There's stuff that happened that nobody really knew about either. So I just have to think that it's sooner rather than later, and it could even be a scenario where 2025 is nearing the end.
Jets. So we're going to NFL here now. Jets fire their GM.
Yes. Yes.
Like that.
Yes.
Robert Saleh's got to be laughing somewhere at this point.
Oh.
I mean, what do you and what can you even say about how toxic Aaron Rodgers is and must be?
That's going to be his legacy.
So here you have a guy who's been to 1 Super Bowl in his career.
One.
Since going to the Jets, their record is 10-28. They fired the head coach. They fired the GM. All in 20 months. They went and got all the toys Aaron wanted. Cobb, then it was Devontae Adams and a few others in between. I mean, nothing that he asked for didn't come through, and now look at what all this is.
I don't know. I love watching the Jets absolutely implode and stink, but I still like the Dallas Cowboys watching this thing go down in flames more. Like the roof's caving, the roof's falling in.
Literally, the roof is caving in.
I don't know. Like I'm starting to feel sorry for Cowboys fans. That's where it's got to. Like the laughing, the big, poking, haha. Now it's like, oh, this is sad. Oh, look at that. There is the roof. You're watching the stream. Colson and Curtis, good job. That could have done some damage. And in the States, you get hit with that. I would take it.
It looks like
I would have ran underneath it.
It looks like the side of a space shuttle, doesn't it?
It does.
But no, in all seriousness, and then you're a Patriots fan too. You a Patriots fan? Yeah, so all 3 of us are Patriot fans. Look at that. I bring in winners here. Well, kind of. Last couple of years excluded. But they're talking about Belichick. The game really passed him by. The 2, like, is everyone missing what happened when Brady left there? And then Mac Jones came. Yeah, McDaniels was there. He kind of was okay. And then those other 2 years, like, speaking of embarrassing, it was like Tyson getting rolled out to fight again, where it was like Bill is out there and the Patriots lose by 24 to Cleveland. It's like, no, that's not your answer. Any team out there? I don't know. Kellen, I don't think Bill's the answer to any team in 2024. Maybe if it was 1989.
Yeah, you have to, that combo coach quarterback can be so special. Obviously with Brady and BB and what you see with Andy Reid and Mahomes right now, I don't see BB building that with any of the available jobs. Like, is he going to, him and Dak, who knows how long he's out, are you going to create that chemistry there? I I don't know.
Do you
Like,
think
that's not the style of play that BB's all about. Like,
Kellen, do you think Bill's going to go turn around any team in this day and age?
No, I don't. He's trying to get up with his current girlfriend. So he's getting an idea for what life's like in your early 20s, or if she's even that old. But no, I don't think that's the case. But when we were first talking about this, I was wondering if they still had the letterhead that he was no longer the HC of the NYJ. If he could just scratch it out and say, I'm interested in being the GM of the NYJ. But no, I
don't
just
think so.
Yeah,
So
I don't think he's interested.
Bill's going to turn 73 next year. Do you really want to start a full rebuild?
No.
Or is it a situation like, if Philly implodes in the first round of the playoffs, does it make sense that he goes to the Eagles? That's a team that might be better built to win now. The Cowboys aren't going to win anytime now. The Giants are a disaster. The Jets are hopeless.
Jacksonville.
Is it a team? Forget it. But he may end up there. Because they give him full control, and they actually have a quarterback.
Like,
look,
so
why is Bill coming back? Bill's coming back because he wants to break Don Shula's record for the most wins all time. Right?
Exactly.
I think part of it, sorry to interrupt, there's the record, and now after what happened at the end of New England, he's got to save some face. Because he's going to go out. For me, guys like me, I'm thinking like those last 2 years, how bad that was.
I don't know,
Yeah,
man. Come on. Got 7 rings on the resume. Does anyone remember Bill Walsh ended as a college coach, where they talk about him as the most innovative offensive mind of all time?
Good point. But I think it's the only reason he comes back at that age is to chase the record. He's not gonna come back to a team that's struggling to put wins together. Like, why would you do that at that age? It seems like he's really enjoying the media side too.
Yeah, kind of. And his girlfriend is really young. She's no Sydney Thomas, but she's young. That was the ring girl in the Tyson fight. Do you have your notepad handy? Okay, here. Let's go around the horn. I'm going to end with this, and we're going to hold everyone to it. Since there's so many of us here today. And you don't have to take a team if you don't want. Here's the game. What team eliminates Kansas City in the playoffs?
Oof.
First to you.
I'll take the Steelers.
Pains me to say this. We saw it this weekend. I think the Bills are finally going to get back to the Super Bowl this year.
Curtis, Colson, you guys can play along. Curtis, do you even know who's in the league?
I'm a big Chiefs fan, baby.
Okay, you take the Chiefs. Hey, ride or die, right? Sheriff?
I'm going to go with the Bills because of Josh Allen.
Okay.
I just like Curtis throwing the Chiefs on their bus. They're going to eliminate themselves. That's what I took that as. I don't know. Let's go the Eagles.
In the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
Arash?
I'm going to go off the board here, guys. I'm going with the once San Diego, now Los Angeles Superchargers.
Wow, good call.
With what Harbaugh and Herbert are doing there, I like that call because I was thinking, a sneaky pick. Pittsburgh is looking good. Chargers are looking good. Then you got Baltimore and the Bills, who are kind of the incumbents to knock them off. And then I got a sneaky. Even you can throw Houston in there at some point.
Oh, maybe.
Okay, so Arash is going Chargers. So I'm gonna take something totally different. I'll go Baltimore. So we all got something different. And then a round of Lucky Loggers. And what is it?
Lucky Loggers and Western Pizza. Come on now.
Okay,
here we go.
We'll go. You and I are going double or nothing because you already owe me. So
yeah, there you go.
All right. Okay. Thanks, buddy.
See you, boys.
Have a good one. See you later.
Thank you.
Coast to Coast with Arash Madani. Went long today. Benny Walchuk's probably waiting some hockey rink in Melville, Saskatchewan. We'll get to the SJHL report coming up. If you're watching the stream, we are streaming at sportscage.com. And as always, we are on 620 CKRM.
The all-new Sports Cage is brought to you by Bronco Plumbing and Heating, where professional service is guaranteed. They'll treat you right. 781-2090.
620 CKRM on location.
Well, when it comes to minor hockey in Saskatchewan, it is so important, isn't it? When it comes to football in Saskatchewan, we know how important that is too. And that's what the Leroy Leisure Lotto does. It helps support things like Leroy Minor Hockey, Leroy Skating Club, Leroy Minor Ball, Leroy Preschool, the Curling Club here, the School of Dance, so much. And when you come from a small town, you know how important those organizations are to have in a community because it keeps the youth busy, keeps them active, keeps them out of trouble. So when you buy a ticket for the Leroy Leisure Lotto, that $100 really goes a lot further than what you think, and it could get you $130,000. Stop for just a second. Think about that. What would you do if you won the $130,000? Somebody has to win. It may as well be you. Tickets are $100 each. 3 for $250. You won't win if you don't buy a ticket. 1-866-925-3769. 1-866-925-3769.
Get ready for winter, all winter long, with Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. A new Bryant furnace can keep your whole home warm. And right now, you can finance your Bryant furnace with Bronco for a special rate of 4.99%. And don't start paying for 6 months. Plus, don't forget about available rebates on qualifying furnaces. Be ready for winter with Bryant at Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. BroncoPlumbing.com. Bronco and Bryant. Whatever it takes.
Grow bold with the Fendt Ideal 10 Combine, available at Nick's Service. The Fendt Ideal 10 offers 790 horsepower and features the same Fendt ID engine speed concept made popular in the lineup of tractors. This means maximum horsepower and torque are achieved at lower RPMs, giving you tremendous fuel efficiency. With a 485-bushel grain tank capable of unloading at 6 bushels per second, turn downtime into dust with the Fendt Ideal 10 Combine. See one today at Nick's Service in Emerald Park.
Husqvarna. Sounds exotic, doesn't it?
Here he comes. I believe he's wearing Husqvarna.
Husqvarna is actually a high-end brand of snowblower available at Prairie Line Rental, but it still gets you red carpet attention. Here's the difference.
All right, I'm gonna go shovel.
Wear your toque.
Or,
girl, it's time to fire up the Husqvarna.
That's my man.
Prairie Line Rental, 600 Albert Street, prairielinerental.com.
Worried about your debt but don't know how to deal with it? My name is Jasmine Brown, a licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Regina. I talk to people about debt every day and I understand how stressful your situation can be. During a free consultation, I can show you how to lower your payments and become debt-free. I can offer you immediate relief from that overwhelming stress. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to learn more.
It's been a long day. I don't want to cook. I'm going to surprise the family with a pizza night. I'll be a hero. My family might actually pick me up in celebration and carry me around the kitchen, and they'll chant my name, and I'll be celebrated until the end of time when I...
This isn't Western Pizza. I thought you loved us.
Don't pizza fail. Get what they want. It's gotta be Western Pizza. Big on toppings, big on taste.
And get it hot and get it fast. Western Pizza.
Bidding is now open for the timed online land auction for Wayne Douglas of Cardiff, Saskatchewan. Register to bid at macauctioncompany.com. Up for auction, 3/4 sections of certified organic farmland in the arm of Mount Pleasant number 2. Got land to sell? Call the Saskatchewan Land Auctioneers today. Bidding closes on the Douglas land this Wednesday, November 20th at 10 a.m.
That's the timed online land auction for Lane Douglas. Bidding closes November 20th at 10 a.m.
The all-new Sports Cage is live streaming from our Century Studios in downtown Regina. Watch now at sportscage.com. Be part of the show by texting 306-936-6262. 620 CKRM.
Tech, look at all these people with inside info on things on the Capital Ford Lincoln text line. Shout out Georgie Porgy. Where is he here? If you want to go to the Pats game, right? We're giving away 2 tickets to the Pats game tomorrow night, 936-6262. Georgie Porgy headed home. Pilot Butte Balgoni on 46. At 46, sneaky. Take Ross to Fleet. B-Train semi-blocking McDonald off-ramps from Ring Road. Perfect. People trying to get home. People trying to get home to watch this stream on YouTube. You're stuck. If you got a good data plan, you're still in luck. She's a skating rink, he says, 20 to 30 kilometers per hour. That's the 46. I'm sure a lot of the roads are like that in the area. We'll do the cheesy common sense. Slow down. Take your time. Don't be an idiot. And then go buy all seasons or winter tires tomorrow. Yeah. Go to Quality Tire.
Oh, ask about the all-weathers.
Ask about Cooper. Great brand. It's all I run is Cooper's. Big Technoflex guy back in the day, so I'm staying with my tires. But yeah, you got to get winters. What do you got on? What are you running? We never asked you. You just sitting over there doing work.
I'm always working. It's always hockey season.
Winters?
I got the whatever stock came on my Volkswagen Tiguan from the dealership last January. I'm just running it fast and loose. Before that, I was always one set of tires behind Dave Kahonik's dad at Bennett. He would always get elite tires.
Jeez. And
I would get whatever he had before that as a hand-me-down, part of my Pats agreement.
Don't be like Kellen. You got to run something winter all season. Oh, Dion chimed back in here. He allegedly, preface it with that, Hervey still owns a house in Edmonton. When did he leave? 16? 17? No, 17?
Yeah.
Market was
17.
Market was decent in 17. Why wouldn't you sell it? He probably had that thing pre-COVID and he'd been like, oh, why did I hang on to
All
this?
depends who was living in that house, Barney.
Yeah, true. And if they had winter tires. Kurt chimed in. Grey Cup, a bit of a snooze fest. Super happy the Bombers lost. Would love to take my boy to the Pats game tomorrow night. Oh, thanks, Kurt. Good text. Somebody from Manitoba messaged yesterday on the YouTube channel and called us juvenile. I haven't been called juvenile in so long. It felt good. Immature I get all the time.
Yeah.
Pigeon, son calls me that every day. Juvenile.
That's
Thanks.
awesome.
Whoever sent that, thank you very much. Made my morning. I have a crappy day today. That made my morning.
Time now for the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League report on the all-new Sportscage. The SJHL report is brought to you by Southie Mainline, the Mainline Automotive Group's newest king of trucks. Southie Mainline, just 30 minutes north of Regina. Worth the drive, every time. Guaranteed.
Benny, I know we usually start this segment off with some classic country music reference. I'm just going to go to you. I was sitting in the hot tub the other night and I was letting it play. Favorite Keith Whitley song?
Oh boy, who's Keith Whitley?
Oh my! I thought you liked your classic country. Miami would have been good. Oh, so many classics from Keith Whitley. Passed on way too soon. Where are you? Melville? No, the game's canceled.
Game's canceled, so just at home. Yeah, actually, just one game's going to be played today. Kindersley's in Wilcox against Notre Dame Hounds. So they're going to play back-to-back games tomorrow. So Kindersley's going to make their way to Regina, then play tonight, hopefully in Wilcox, and then play tomorrow at 5, I think, at the Duncan McNeil Arena. So back-to-back games.
I'm noticing a lot of back-to-back games in the SJ. Is that something new they're trying this year? They done it the last few years?
Yeah, a little bit about scheduling now. I know 8 games against your divisional rivals. So Kindersley and Notre Dame are actually divisional rivals with Humboldt and Battleford too. So a little bit of a stretch between those teams. So you can play a lot of back-to-backs to get those 4 games at home and 4 games on the road. So that's probably what we're seeing back-to-back, and just traveling, save some money on expenses and the busing and the hotels and everything like that too. That's
what I totally would have thought. It's Benny Walchuk joining us for the SJHL report, brought to you by Southie Mainline Chrysler. The new king of trucks and worth the drive every time. What are we thinking for SJHL Player of the Week this week, Benny?
Yeah, it's lots of Orange Ice Wolves, which is surprising. Killer Kaminsky had a little bit of a rough start for the Ice Wolves up north there in Larange. And then they've had a great weekend against the Estevan Bruins, beating them 4-1 and 10-1 there at the Mel Hagelin Uniplex. So they're taking advantage. We talked about these schedules, and they got 8 of their 9 games here in the month of November at the Mel Hagelin Uniplex. And if you've ever been at the Mel, it's a tough building. It's small. You can reach your stick and hit up the roof. And
I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that whole flip it out of your zone play does not. Yeah. It's like trying to flip it out of your zone in your basement.
Exactly. So very small. So they're taking advantage, and they're getting their top end guys. Mason Buchert had a good week. Cole Thomas had a good week. Jacob Cassette had a good week. Rylan Silzer from Swift Current, their captain, he had a good week as well. So you look at them right now, they're in the top half of the SJHL standings after just a weekend. So it happens like that. Battleford had a great weekend, beating Weyburn twice to snap their 14-game point streak, and then Flin Flon's kind of found their game the last week or so as well. So some of those top end teams like the Malvilles, like the Kindersleys, that were top half of the league to start with, that kind of dropped off a little bit, and some of these teams are making up some ground.
Okay, sportscage.com is where you can go find the latest SJHL power rankings, and you can also watch this stream. Melfort moves up. Blevins got them buzzing there, eh?
Yeah, they found a little bit of a tough spot last week, losing to Flin Flon, but it's always tough to play there at the Whitney Forum. But yeah, they're just playing a consistent game, not the high flying like the Yorktons or the Weyburns. They're more defensive. They get great goaltending from Christian Coombs and Madden Malaka, who's from the Regina Pats, kind of got sent back to Melfort, and then got a very, very good defense. So you always win in the SJHL with the net out, and they have one of the best tandems and also the best decors in the league as well.
You talked about some guys coming up for Larange, but Larange also one of those teams that's surging along with a couple other ones.
Yeah, exactly. We got the Flin Flon Bombers surging. Carter Anderson starting to find his groove as well. Which was probably predicted to be the SJHL leading scorer, Matthew Keeper. I know a guy familiar in the Pats land, a former Pat. So then, of course, the battle for North Stars. Marty Smith's got his boys rolling pretty good there. So it took some time for him to install some systems. And they got a former WHLer as well, and Justin Merrick is playing some good. So anytime you can go to Weyburn, which is always a tough place, it's always quieter. It's always dark in that building there, Crescent Point Place. So it's always tough to play there. But they came in and stole 4 points over the weekend.
I love that rink in Weyburn. Really, that's home of Dave Thomas. They got a monument outside somewhere. It's on one of the sides. So, okay. What's the worth the drive Southie Mainline Chrysler game of the week this week?
I'm going to stick close to home with the Highway 10 battle renewed this weekend. So I know last was a great battle, and of course Yorkton with their forfeiture lost those 2 games, so Malville took 4 points. They have a 2-0 lead right now in the Parks Cup, so it's always great to see these teams renewed. This will be the last time we meet until after Christmas time when the New Year's home and home. So Yorkton on Friday, and then the Malville Millionaires hosting on Saturday at the CN Community Center. And also just a note, Yorkton, they're having the Harvest for Hockey. It's kind of their farm project for the Terriers. They're going to have a cabaret as well after the game, so come in there, you can dance to some two-step after the cabaret at the Agri Pavilion building there in Yorkton. So it should be a great time there after the Terrier game in Mills on Friday.
I would be absolutely shocked if they don't play some Keith Whitley at that cabaret. Yeah. If you boom here. I'm no stranger to the rain. Forget about it. It's over. Okay. Quickly, 30 seconds here. What's up with your Vancouver Canucks and JT Millar?
Yeah, it's tough news to hear, but I think he just needs to step aside. That sounds like it's not with alcohol related or drugs related. It's kind of just going to step back and needs some time away, which you got to respect that. So it's a tough loss for the Canucks, but I think we need that JT Millar to be at his top end here down the stretch here and after Christmas time or before Christmas time. Yeah, just can't win at home right now. So they got to play all their road games on the road right now because they can't seem to play at home, and it's a big test here tonight with Rangers.
All right, as the late, great Keith Whitley said, don't close your eyes when you're driving home tonight, Benny. Always a pleasure. Thanks, man.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
That is the SJHL report for Southie Mainline Chrysler. Worth the drive every time up in Southie, Saskatchewan. New king of trucks, 2024 Grand Caravan Pacifica, Wrangler, Wagoneers, and Hornets. $1,000 bonus cash. And don't forget, $20,000 off MSRP on the Ram 1500, Dodge Durango, Jeep Grand Cherokee. Visit them. Worth the drive every time, guaranteed. Southie Mainline Chrysler. Time for a quick break. This is the all-new Sports Cage, and we are streaming at sportscage.com.
620 CKRM on location.
Well, you can't forget about I Wonder, Do You Think of Me? Fantastic song. Miami, Miami, still one of my all-time favorites. And, of course, that one great duet with Lori Morgan, Till a Tear Becomes a Rose. Keith Whitley. Leroy Leisure Lotto, that's where we're at today. And the grand prize, $130,000, could be coming your way Saturday night at 8 p.m. All the draws happening right here. They got a special event planned in Leroy for the big draw, as they do every year. And there's going to be a whole bunch of draws made, 34 draws. It starts off with 10 draws of $500, then 20 draws of $1,000, then $5,000. Then there's that second prize of the hot tub, or $10,000, and then the grand prize where you have a choice. Do you take that leisure package, or do you take the $130,000 that you know and I know would come in real handy right about now? Tickets are $100 each, 3 for $250. Hey, thank you to Ed in Regina, gave us a call. He wants to have a shot at winning the $130,000. 1-866-925-3769, 1-866-925-3769.
Water heater and water softener rentals are now available at Bronco Plumbing, Heating and Cooling. Instead of paying big money up front, you can rent a water heater and water softener directly from Bronco without the worry or hassle. They have a long history of renting water heaters and water softeners, and they're maintenance free. Bronco comes and does all that for you. Saskatchewan's best water heater rentals are from Bronco. Call 306-781-2090. Professional, courteous service. BroncoPlumbing.com.
You've been waiting. Black Friday savings are on now at the Wireless Age, your SaskTel authorized dealer. Save on your favorite devices with the lowest prices of the year. Save on SaskTel wireless plans with special offers for new and upgrading customers and bonus data. And save on accessories and device protection plans. On for a limited time, act fast. Shop in-store or beat the line with curbside pickup or free Sask-wide shipping. Get the device you've been waiting for. See thewirelessage.com for details. Your SaskTel authorized dealer.
The next item up for auction is entry to the Canadian Western Exhibition. We'll open up the bidding at $25. $25. Who will give me 20? $20 bid, 20. Do I hear $10 bid? Who will give me $10? $10. Who will give me $0 bid? $0. Going once. $0 going twice. Sold for $0.
Connexus members get free entry to the Canadian Western Exhibition. Pick up your multi-day pass at any Connexus branch.
No dugout in the pasture? You could move the cows or just put the water where the cows are. With a Keln Solar Livestock Watering System, you can put your pump pretty much anywhere without the cost of hooking up to the grid. If your cows are over here, put your Keln Solar Livestock Watering System over here. If they're over there, put it over there. If the cows are on the roof, you have weird cows. Learn more about the Keln Solar Livestock Watering System at kelnsolar.com. Keln Solar, we move water.
Full bore? What does that even mean? Like a full animal? I guess it's better than a half bore, especially if you're the bore. Or is it a full bore like every team's meeting? What's never a bore is driving on slick Saskatchewan winter roads. At least your local Cooper tire dealer carries Cooper Discoverer True North winter tires. Cooper Discoverer True North winter tires provide exceptional grip and traction in the snow and ice. See your local Cooper tire dealer for Cooper Discoverer True North winter tires.
Welcome back to the all-new Sports Cage. Connect with the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262.
Cody's having a good old time out there in Leroy. Guaranteed he's going to the tavern tonight and playing some Keith Whitley on the jukebox. By the way, Cody, you got to be on tight next break because we're getting into news. Curtis and Colson are getting worried. What were we going to talk? Oh, yeah. Minor. What's your, with Hockey Regina, what's your title again?
Manager, membership, and community engagement. Other duties.
Sounds made up. But you were saying, I can't believe this. There's a bunch of kids registering for hockey today in Regina.
Yes. I don't know if it was born out of the snowfall today and people are like, oh, it's hockey season. But consistently over the last 3 weeks, we have at least one registration interest every day, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Since we've started the show, I've had two that have come in the last hour 45 of kids and right at a variety. You're getting the new to hockey U7. You're also getting the I've played my whole career in Hockey Regina. I didn't think I wanted to play this year. Surprise, I do. What can you do for me?
If you're just joining us, or if you're new to these parts, hockey starts in like September and October.
Well,
so trying to register in November is tough ask.
Well, because it happens so I'm more of a basketball guy with my kids. It happens in basketball, but I mean, you literally all you need is runners. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, this is more of a commitment. Like, you need to have a lot of equipment. Like, this isn't like, hey, come home from school one day and decide you want to start playing hockey. This is a big commitment.
I could see too, like, move into town. Dad got transferred, couldn't stay back. That I've always wondered about that. What happens there? That, let's say a kid moves from Toronto that's been playing AAA prep his whole life. He's unbelievable. He is so good at, and let's say Bantam or Pee Wee, whatever they're called now. What happens to that kid? He has to play like in the bottom division?
U15B.
Oh, man.
No body contact till the end of the year. So, it's complicated for sure. You ask about sort of what the basis of these players are, and like I talked about, there is the new to hockey, but in a lot of cases they're multi-sport athletes, and they're athletes who were playing another sport, whether it be baseball, whether it be high school football.
Yeah. Now they got the itch.
Yeah. I talked to a dad on the way in to the studio today who called and said, like, my kid was playing football, and then he just went out for high school hockey tryouts and was like, I think I want more than this, Dad. And so we're, when I say we, I mean collectively between the staff and the board of Hockey Regina, we're doing our best to try to give developmentally appropriate opportunities to these kids, because at the same time, this circumstance that you suggested, a kid coming from Toronto, is not quite the case, but we have a player interested right now in returning to the game at a division who played at the top tier a year ago. And, we're also having a conversation about, okay, the regulation says this. However, is it a competitive, appropriate circumstance for all the other kids?
And you got to do that. That's good on you guys.
Every coach is like, well, yeah, of course I want a kid who's a top talent. But do they? Like, when you put them out on the ice, is it actually enjoyable for anybody? And if that kid actually wants to continue to make a go of it at the sport, it's not as though they're out there as like the older brother, like, hey, I'm going to pass it to you and you shoot it 10 feet wide and I'm going to go win the race for the puck and loop back and pass it to you again. So
if that kid's what are you going to say, names? If that kid's midget age and he's really good, there's some senior hockey teams out there. Now is the time that they're still shopping around. So that's interesting. Super enlightening over here. That's what we do on the all-new Sportscage. We got to go to break. Remember, Cody, keep it tight. When we come back in hour 3, Glen, Suitor, and Darian, Durant. It's the all-new Sportscage, streaming at sportscage.com.
620 CKRM on location.
All right, 1-866-925-3769. 1-866-925-3769. $130,000. You could use that to pay off your car. You could use it this winter if you're taking the kids to hockey games or curling or skiing, whatever they're into. You could use it for a nice little getaway after all the snow we've had here right now. I think you deserve a nice little getaway, but $130,000 has to go to someone, and I hope it really goes to you. 34 chances to win in the Leroy Leisure Lotto, plus there's that jackpot as well in the 50-50. 1-866-925-3769. 1-866-YEAH-LEROY.
Regina Pats hockey is back, and that net is wide open to renew your plates. When you take that big slap shot, do it online with Dusick and Barlow. Request a quote for anything you need. It's a true breakaway, and as easy as it is for the Pats to score that winning goal. When it comes to online plate renewal, there's no high sticking involved, just the most valuable players in the game. Your local Regina insurance brokers, Dusick and Barlow. Local owners, local business, SaskInsurance.com.
Black Friday week is coming up at Extreme Hockey and Sport. Get 25 to 50% off selected items. Check out the Bauer Fit Lab for your custom skate fitting. And check out the new shooting lane. Feel great on and off the ice. The massive Black Friday hockey sale at Extreme Hockey and Sport for the hockey player on your list. And don't miss the amazing Agribition Yeti sale event at the revamped Pro Shop at the Cooperators. Extreme Hockey and Sport, 1425 McIntyre Street and the Pro Shop, conveniently located at the Cooperators Center.
So, since that little ding on my car last week, I don't know where to take it.
I don't even know.
That's easy. Take it to Regina Motor Products.
Who said that?
I did. Down here. I'm Terry the Tire. Regina Motor Products Chevrolet Collision Center and SGI accredited auto body repair is a full-service collision and body shop that works on all makes and models. Just submit your claim to SGI and set an appointment to get your appraisal done. Easy.
I bet you're tired after saying all that.
South at Highway 1 and 6, Albert Street. RMPChevrolet.com.
You've probably heard people say, happy spouse, happy house. For my wife, it's as simple as keeping the Wi-Fi running and making sure the house stays warm all winter. That's why I always call on Aero Plumbing and Heating for everything from maintenance to energy service or unit replacements. Right now, you can get a new furnace from Aero starting at just $67.50 a month plus a $650 Sask Energy rebate. That part keeps both of us happy. Call the straight shooters at Aero Plumbing and Heating or visit aeroplumbing.ca.
Aero Plumbing, Heating and Air.
Get your equipment out of the rain and snow and under the roof of a new storage building from Olympic Buildings. Have a warm, dry place to work and keep everything out of the cold. Olympic Buildings. Buildings to meet your budget. Visit olympic-buildings.ca.
It's 5 o'clock. Good evening. There's some light snow and blowing snow in Regina, and it's -6. I'm Corey Atkinson from the Harvard Media News Center with 620 CKRM News for Echo Sound and Fort Qu'Appelle. Stay connected with the new cell phone from Echo Sound. Call 306-332-6711. It's been a dicey day on the roads today. RCMP is saying that between 7 a.m. and 2:30 p.m. today, they received 44 reports of motor vehicle collisions and incidents throughout the province. The most common of those incidents were vehicles in the ditch and jackknife semis. No injuries have been reported to police at this time. The Trans-Canada Highway between Swift Current and Rush Lake has had travel not recommended on it due to a semi-jackknifed about 2 kilometers east of Highway 628 in the eastbound lanes. And on Highway 11 between Bethune and Lumsden, also travel not recommended due to drifting snow and ice. A parking ban on Regina's snow routes will begin at 6 a.m. tomorrow and last until 6 a.m. on Thursday. The ban helps road crews plow efficiently from curb to curb, enhancing traffic flow and emergency access. Snow routes are marked by blue signs with a white snowflake. Parked vehicles during the ban may be ticketed or towed to adjacent blocks to allow for plowing. Stay informed with Regina's Sweep and Plow app, notifications from regina.ca/snowroutes, or the city's social media channels. The 24-hour parking restriction aims to ensure safer winter driving conditions. A popular event makes its return to Canadian Western Agribition, but CEO of Agribition, Sean Kindop, says you'll only get one chance to see freestyle bullfighting.
The freestyle bullfighting that was so popular last year, they're returning for one night only. They will not be fighting during the rodeo. The only chance you're going to get to see the freestyle bullfighting is if you come to the Branson on Tuesday night. So make sure you get your tickets.
Tickets can be purchased online at agribition.com/tickets. There was more testimony today at the trial of 2 men accused of human smuggling at the Manitoba-Minnesota border.
Witnesses today testified about the brutal cold the day a family of 4 from India were found frozen to death just meters from the border. A Border Patrol agent, Christopher Oliver, says he came across a van with 2 passengers from India on a remote road far from any official border crossing. With the wind chill in the -30s, other migrants were found in a field. One suffered severe hypothermia. Hours later, RCMP found the bodies of the family of 4 just north of the border. Steve Shand and Harsh Kumar Patel have pleaded not guilty to human smuggling charges. Steve Lambert, The Canadian Press, Fergus Falls, Minnesota.
And a new report by the Canadian Mental Health Association says mental health across the country is 3 times worse than it was before COVID-19, while access to care varies widely across provinces and territories.
The report says 2.5 million people can't get the mental health care they need. It also says 57% of young people between 18 and 24 years old who have early signs of mental illness can't afford to get services. Sarah Kennel, the association's director of public policy, says a root cause of the problem is that mental health isn't part of Canada's universal healthcare system. Although hospital care and psychiatrists are paid for by government, she says people have to pay out of pocket or through insurance for most community-based mental health and addictions counseling. counseling. Nicole Ireland, The Canadian Press, Toronto.
That's your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620ckrm.com. Your weather is next.
You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when Uh-oh.
There are some things that can get spoiled. A sunny day, maybe.
Aw, and no umbrella or anything.
And then there's Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer, where they have all the top-of-the-line smartphones with all the latest features. With such a wide selection and so many great plans, nothing can spoil it.
Yay, rain!
Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer in Fort Capel. EchoSound.ca.
Pizza! Where's it from?
Kids, it's not delivery, it's...
No, it's definitely delivery. It's from Western Pizza. Mama's had a long day, so she ordered online, poured a glass of Happy, put her feet up, and waited for the doorbell. There's also Caesar salad, lasagna, chicken wings. Oh, I got lots, so we can have the leftovers tomorrow. And the next day... Western Pizza. Big on toppings, big on taste, big on convenience. Get it delivered today.
I'm Corey Atkinson with your 620 CKRM Precision Weather Forecast, brought to you by Line-X Regina. Serious protection, killer looks, 1865 McCarra Street, and for Matt's Furniture, visit mattsfurniture.ca. Now here's Precision Weather meteorologist Phil Spivak.
Snowfall warnings expired as the heaviest snowfall has passed through, but there is still some additional accumulation to get through as the night goes on, and still the bigger concern likely remains the wind, which will continue to blow that snow around, gusts up to 70 kilometers per hour through the night. It's also going to cause a biting wind chill down closer to minus 20 as the actual air temperature falls to minus 11. Tack on just though another 2 to 4 centimeters of actual accumulating snow for what is actually measurable, as there is going to be so much blowing and drifting. Mostly cloudy, a few flurries through the day on Wednesday. Temperature not moving much, holding around minus 10. The wind will progressively ease up through the day, finally settling down to more of a gentle breeze Wednesday night. Partly to mostly cloudy, minus 13. Cloud and sunshine for Thursday, maybe a passing flurry or two during the afternoon, the high minus 10. Friday, partly sunny sky, minus 11. Then some snow sets up through the day on Saturday. Could be another round of moderate to heavy snowfall Saturday night into Sunday. With your 620 CKRM weather forecast, I'm Precision Weather meteorologist Phil Spivak.
Across the province at this hour, Saskatoon is minus 6, Swift Current minus 6, Assiniboia minus 9, Broadview Moosomin minus 2, Yorkton Melville minus 3, and Estevan and Weyburn are both minus 5. At this hour in Moose Jaw, it's mostly cloudy. Winds are from the northwest at 36, gusting to 57, and it's minus 6. Regina has some light snow and blowing snow. Winds from the northwest at 48, gusting to 60, and it's minus 6 here as well. For more local news that matters to you, subscribe to the daily newsletter at sasktoday.ca.
When you want the best for your truck, you want Line-X. Your truck has withstood the harshest elements Saskatchewan has thrown at it. Rocks, gravel, rain, sleet, and snow, and left with no chips, no rust. Line-X protective coating keeps your truck's bed liners, rocker panels, and bumpers looking like brand new. Don't settle for Brand X. Go with Line-X. It's serious protection. Come see why everybody loves taking their truck to Line-X Regina for their rocker panels, bumpers, and more. Line-X. Make your truck complete. 1865 McCarra Street.
He's had it again. Matt's sharpening his pencil to save you big money at Matt's Furniture. Now till November 20th, save more with Maytag. Check out the Maytag front load washer with extra power and 12-hour fresh span option for just $11.99. Get it in white or upgrade to Volcano Black for $100 more. Or the Maytag front load electric dryer with extra power and quick dry cycle, which also comes in Volcano Black for an additional $100. Matt's Furniture in Fort Capel, Kamsack, Melville, and Foam Lake, or online at mattsfurniture.ca.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents the all-new Sportscage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Sask Lotteries, bringing communities together. Sask Lottery products fund over 12,000 sports, culture, and recreation groups across Saskatchewan. Be a part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The all-new Sportscage. Streaming at sportscage.com and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Sask Lotteries is the sponsor. If you're like me and you're going to sprinkle tonight on a little Sports Select because you don't want to be driving around, might as well sit on the couch and watch hockey. NHL games. Oil. They are at Ottawa. Lost 3-0 to Montreal last night. They're in a 2-game slide. Did you take the Oilers tonight? Back-to-backs on a slide. No?
Nope.
Okay. Panthers, Jets. Jets trying to rebound against the Panthers after dropping 2 in Florida. Jets rebound?
No.
In front of 11,000? No?
Panthers.
Isles, Flames. What the Flames there? Rangers, Canucks. Canadian teams. Remember, no JT Miller in the lineup. SJHL canceled because of the roads. They're greasy. Yorkton, Melfort, Weyburn, Melville, Battleford's Nipawin, no go. They are going in Wilcox tonight. Kindersley's in town. 2 games in the dub. Medicine Hats in Saskatoon to take on the Blades. Actually, that is a game I'm going to watch tonight. I'm curious on that one. And then Tri-Cities in Swift to take on the hot Brady Burney and the Swift Current Broncos. It's gross out there. We've talked winter tires. We've talked you cannot run summer tires in this weather, people. If you're just leaving work, you need some sort of, what do you run?
All weather.
All weather? You run whatever. At least you're not summer tire guy. And I say winter tires all the way. And brush the snow off your vehicle. It's been snowing all day. Do everybody on the roads a favor. Grab any kind of broom, scraper, brush. Use anything. Use your card. If you need to scrape your windows, it always works.
If you're Eric Francis, you got to use your Blockbuster card. Of course. Scrape.
You never had a Blockbuster. That's why you're like 19 years old. Blockbuster cards were just laminated. You ain't scraping nothing with those things.
No, well, not with that attitude.
Yeah. No. See, you need like one of these. Even a gift card. I got a Sherwood Co-op gift card. That would work. Yeah. Okay, anyway, that's your rundown. Let's get into football talk with Glen Suitor.
The all-new Sportscage with CFL and Saskatchewan Roughrider legend Glen Suitor is brought to you by Quality Tire. With 9 locations across Saskatchewan. Visit qualitytire.ca.
Hey, Glenn, do you know that... is he coming here? There he is. Do you know that there are parts of British Columbia that it's mandatory to have winter tires?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I thought at one point it was at least all weather. But
yeah, I think
winter, if you're on your way up to Whistler, you have to have winter tires on.
Oh, you even up to Whistler?
Yeah.
Oh,
that highway gets hit pretty hard, and that's where the issue becomes. I see the first snowfall in Saskatchewan. As soon as the CFL season ends, winter is allowed to arrive.
Well, it's funny. The one thing I was thinking about today after shoveling, it just happened that my son, daughter, and wife all smoke bombed out first snowfall of the year. I'm like, oh, I guess I got this. Is that Mitchell Bowl that was here last week between Laval and the Regina Rams? That's like right. Laval could be landing in this. They missed it by 4 days?
Yeah.
And then it would have been like, welcome to Sasky. And you would have had the Sasky guys, handlebars, no undershirts, just looking rough. Yeah, no, it's, and you know what? Really, Grey Cup at Winnipeg next year. That's a roll of the dice when it comes to weather. Where do you want to start with the Grey Cup? Like, I know you being with TSN, I'm wondering if you have any insight on the ratings and the number it got. And we talked earlier about how the halftime show, it really spiked. I thought the halftime show was unbelievable. Not a Jonas Brothers fan, but it looked really good. They did a great job. Just, where did it rank ratings-wise, Glenn?
Yeah, a big success, a really big success. And, I thought it'd be interesting to sort of touch on that today, because I know there are some people, I know it's a real media thing in our country to talk about CFL ratings, but with RDS, I didn't see the final RDS number, but with them, it looked like it got over 4 million. So that's,
wow.
Just average viewers watching the game, the whole entire game. And then it would spike in that ratio, it spikes at around 10. If you're looking at 4 on average. So, you're basically a quarter of the country is watching at some point parts of that game, usually at halftime. The Jonas Brothers, they're getting great reviews. And, I'm talking to young people in music. My son's in music. He's 30. That's the demographic everybody wants. And he loved it. He said they were fantastic. It looked huge. It looked, their staging was excellent. So yeah, that's all positive. And, I thought the crowd was great. The festivities through the week, they estimate that around 500,000 people enjoyed some or part of the festivities. And maybe the most important part, and I hope that all the owners and general managers and presidents were watching how Amar Doman put this on in Vancouver and his team, because there were day after day on the weekend 4,000 to 5,000 kids in this huge sort of football exhibit where there was monster slides and you could run a 40 with your buddy, or you could throw the ball through the hoops and the tires, and they had all these different things. And those kids, each one of them getting an orange t-shirt that had a BC Lions logo on it for branding. I mean, you're talking about probably 20,000 10 to 12-year-olds that most of them may have been introduced to the game for the first time. I think that was huge.
That's the one thing I saw on Twitter was all these kids. Someone had a video and it was like, look, and they all got BC Lions t-shirts. And I'm like, boom. Then I started cringing thinking about when the CFL backed out of the Regina Youth Flag Football League, the fall. The CFL had it. It was all CFL teams. And then they said, no, we don't really want to go after the youth, the young kids. It's like, I hopefully those people are long gone. Like, that was like 7 years ago. Yeah, I don't know where their marketing degree was from, but wow. So let's get into the game. Yeah. And going in, right, like there was 10.5. I think the first time we talked last week, 10.5, and went down to 9 for a spread. But not many were thinking the Argos would stay in this. Not only did they stay in it, they were the better team by far, and ended up, the score was, the spread was the other way.
Yeah, and congratulations, by the way, because I remember on Thursday, a certain Barney putting some, just a little bit of money, a little bit of cash on the Argos with the.
Well, no, you know what happened? I bet the line because it was going down. I bet the line at 9.5, Glenn, and then the missus and I watched the Tyson fight, had a few gins. I hit the money line Friday night. I just played the Argos. I was like, if you're going to be a cowboy, be a cowboy. And I just took the Argos money line.
Barney's buying for the next big dinner. I love it.
Western pizza. Here we go.
Yeah. You know what? The game was interesting because, people will quickly forget that going into the fourth quarter, it was a 4-point game. And that's right around when Zach hurt his finger. Now, that's not an excuse. I think there'll be a lot of questions in Winnipeg, first of all. Let's start with the team that didn't win. There's going to be some questions like, should Zach have gone back in the game? Very, very difficult one for Michael O'Shea and Zach to deal with, because the player in that scenario, unless the finger is completely fallen off, is going to say that he can go. That's going to happen. And, if he could at all, I know he had trouble gripping it. He clearly, there with what we've heard since the game happened, he said he was unsure if he could make the throws he needed to make. But he didn't want to let the team down. It was a very difficult decision for him. But it was, his finger looked a little bit like a Pez dispenser when you were opening it. So it wasn't just a cut. It was a deep cut. He said he could see the sort of the bone of his finger back there. And, that's a one for Michael O'Shea and for Zach Collaros that I'm going to give him a pass on. Now, there is others, though, that I'm not going to question the quality of the coaches, but I do question the decisions. And the one I'll start with is when Zach was hurt, the start of the fourth quarter when it was a 4-point game and Zach was hurt, Terry Wilson came in. Now, Terry Wilson has thrown one pass in the CFL. One. They have Dolagallo on the bench. He doesn't come in. Terry Wilson does. So I question that decision. Then I question the play calling from Buck Pierce. Not the quality of the offensive coordinator. He's excellent and will continue to be excellent and is a candidate, I'm sure, for a head coaching job in the league. But I do question the decision to ask Terry Wilson to throw 4 passes in a row. I mean, you have Brady Oliveira that at that point in the game was rushing for 7.6 yards per carry. And you have an athletic, if you're going to put Terry Wilson in, you have an athletic quarterback that can run on the edges.
Don't ask Marcus Sales about that.
Well, I just, exactly. I'm just saying that I question the decision to call 4 plays that asked Terry Wilson to complete passes down the field. He got in one of those plays, he got a pass interference call, which gave him 2 more, and he still threw it with Brady Oliveira probably going, what the heck? You know what? Why? This is the time that he needed to be the man in the game, and he's the MOP of the league. So, I do question those decisions. But, from an Argos point of view, Ryan Dinwiddie is an outstanding head coach and a tremendous play caller, and maybe does not get enough credit because Nick Arbuckle was a great story, and Nick Arbuckle played very well, but they didn't ask Nick Arbuckle to win the game. They didn't ask him to put together a drive that, goes 60 yards with no time on the clock and finishes with a touchdown throw. That wasn't asked of him because of the way the defense played. And because of the play calling, it didn't put Arbuckle in an uncomfortable situation. So I think he needs to get a lot of credit. The Argos have the formula. Here's a message to all the teams in the West that aren't the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. The Argos have the formula to beating the Bombers. They beat them 3 times this year. And I just thought the play calling was excellent. And one thing, guys, that I want to make a point of, it'll get the media all mad at me again, which they always are anyway, but it doesn't matter. Arbuckle wasn't, to me, the MVP of the game.
No.
I thought he played great. He played a very good game, and the play calling helped him in that regard. But Wynn McManus was the best player on the field. And Wynn McManus early in the game that wasn't really talked about too much, made some plays on Dembski in the passing game for first downs and denied them that were huge in the momentum of that game. And so I thought Wynn McManus was the best player on the field for both teams.
Oh, he disrupted a lot of things. And the Argos should hold some sort of summer camp for Western teams.
Yeah, I agree. And so DA here, Glenn, and me watching the game, obviously fun as a Rider fan to watch Winnipeg lose, and we can talk about all the way Winnipeg lost. But it was impressive. Like, to me, it just felt like Toronto knew what they were doing, and Winnipeg was trying to figure it out. And so when you talk about game plan and coaching and being prepared, that was the feel, right? Is that Winnipeg was struggling with, what are we trying to do here? Whereas always looked like Toronto knew what they were trying to do. And it, we focused a lot on Winnipeg going 5 times, but Toronto really has put together a run here that's impressive.
Yeah, I think the main part of their formula really is they have put the emphasis in the offseason on building their D-line every year. And if they lose a guy, they find a new guy. Arimolade comes to mind there. And they're not just worried about their front 4, they're worried about the top 7 D linemen. Because all 7 on their team could be all-stars, basically, if they played the whole game in and game out. I think that's where they start when they build their team. And their physicality, when you add Wynn McManus at the middle in front of those D linemen, they really they control the pace of the game. They take over the pace of the game. And, Zach Collaros was sacked, I think, a couple of times in the Grey Cup, but he, in the other 2 games, was sacked 12 times by that D-line. So I think that's where they start. As far as the one team looked like they knew what they were doing, I think defensively they have so much confidence in their physicality and their pressure up front that their DBs can take some bigger chances, and they did that in the game, especially late. It also illustrated to me, though, guys, that a few things. One, this Grey Cup illustrated the parity in the league. When you're a 9.5-point favorite and you lose by 18 or whatever it was, like, there is great parity. Number two, nothing is entitled in sports. You're entitled to nothing. So you have to go out and earn it every single time, every single snap. And we learned that with the momentum they had, and it also, to me, illustrated this game, the razor thin margins when it comes to, the accuracy of your quarterback. That interception to Amos, when Zach came in with the glove on, which he's never worn as a Bomber starter, he went in with that glove and was off by 2 yards on this throw. Like, it maybe even a yard. But that was it, Barney. I mean, he was off by a yard, and Amos takes that back. The throw to Dembski that was picked off by Priester, who took it to the house, that was off by half a yard.
It's almost like there was...
The razor-thin margins are incredible.
Gust of wind came. Okay, so we're up against the clock. We got about a minute left. Kellen has one for you.
Yeah. Glen, Kellen here, as Barney said. Quick question. With Ed Hervey coming in Edmonton here, what do you think that means for Elks, and who's coming along?
Who's coming along as far as
the coach? Is he bringing Rick Campbell with him? Is he bringing Vernon Adams there? What do you think? Look down the kaleidoscope and tell us what Glen Suitor thinks.
Well, I'll be interested to hear when he's asked, and we see it publicly, his response to the question that will inevitably come. It'll probably be the first one out of the gate. What do you think of Trey Ford? That will be the first question that Ed Hervey as the GM will be facing, because that will dictate how he answers that question. Will dictate to me what head coach has the real opportunity to get in. Is it going to be a new guy, or is it going to be Jarius Jackson? As far as Ed Hervey goes, I think it's a very good hire because he knows the game. He's got his scouts already set up. He's got that whole network already built. But this is another one, and it's a big one when you're talking about Edmonton. He knows the old-style Edmonton football, like what is expected in that organization back in the days when, he was on the tail end of it, yes, and then they started to really struggle. But he did understand the Edmonton way, and that's important.
So much there that I want to get to. We're up against a break. We're going to have to do this again on Thursday, Glenn.
It's going to happen fast and quick, Barney, with these quarterbacks. And
I know
free agency is February, but there's some guys that'll probably be traded. Vernon Adams would have to be traded. The answer on Trey Ford from Ed Hervey is going to be very interesting. That'll probably be the next day or two.
I'd be funny if he starts the press conference with, "I'm not going to answer any questions about the quarterbacks." Pull one of those moves. All right, Glenn, we'll catch up Thursday, buddy. See you later.
Thanks, guys.
Press coverage with Glen Suitor, Quality Tire, 9 locations across Saskatchewan. You never needed Quality Tire more than today if you're in Saskatchewan. Quick break. When we come back, we're doing Double Talk. It's supposed to be on Mondays. I mixed that up yesterday. Darian Durant's going to join us. It is the all-new Sportscage, streaming at sportscage.com.
620 CKRM on location.
Thanks, guys. It's Cody Glyden here with the Leroy Leisure Lotto, and I know you've been thinking about this all day. You've been dreaming about that $130,000, what you're going to do with that $130,000 if you happen to win. Well, now it's time to put pen to paper. Give us a call right now. Let's get that ticket of yours into the draw drum. We want you to have a shot at winning $130,000. We want to have you have a shot at winning all of that money there. 34 chances to win. There are the 30 draws of $500 and $1,000. There's that $5,000. There's that $10,000 in the hot tub, and so much more. Tickets $100 each, a 3-pack, $250, 1-866 925-3769, 1-866-925-3769.
The wait is finally over. Year-end clear-out is back at Capital Ford Lincoln. Get savings up to $20,000 on all remaining 2024s like the Ford F-150 or Ford Bronco lineup. Drive away today with $0 down and no payments until next year. Plus, we have a giant selection of pre-owned trucks and SUVs. You're going to find the perfect vehicle for you. It's finally back. Year-end clear-out at Capital Ford. CapitalFordLincoln.com.
People judge you on everything. What you wear.
Nice pants, buddy.
Your hair.
Nice man bun. That takes confidence.
And, of course, your yard.
You should have complimentary snowshoes for when people use your sidewalk.
This winter, obliterate the snow and silence the critics with the Husqvarna snowblower from Prairie Land Rental.
Is that Husqvarna? Wow. Also, I love your slacks.
Prairie Land Rental, 600 Albert Street. PrairieLandRental.com.
You'll get the gist of it? Will I? Does a gist have to be given? Can I just take a gist? You know what can be really tough to get the gist of? Saskatchewan winter driving conditions. But at least your local Cooper tire dealer carries Cooper Discoverer True North winter tires. Cooper Discoverer True North winter tires provide exceptional grip and traction in the snow and ice. See your local Cooper tire dealer for Cooper Discoverer True North winter tires. They'll help you get the gist of winter driving.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Grandma Bentley.
Well, hello, Otto. Diesel, what are you and your dad doing today?
We just got our oil change at Moose Jaw Truck Shop.
Yeah, Mom. Thought maybe I could take your car in for you.
No, you can't. Not unless you take me with you. You know how much I love their cookies.
All month, oil changes are just $37.77 for cars, $67.77 for trucks and SUVs, and $117.77 for European and diesel. They'll see you soon at moosejawtruckshop.com.
Okay, roll camera. And action.
I want to suck your blood.
Cut! No. That wasn't real enough.
What else do you want from me?
You were fine. It was you. Your scream just wasn't believable.
Well, give me some motivation.
You can no longer go to Glassers TV, your SaskTel authorized dealer, or get SaskTel wireless internet. Perfect. Roll camera.
Contact Glassers TV or SaskTel authorized dealer in Moosomin today.
The all-new Sportscage presents Double Talk with Darian Durant. Brought to you by Wolf Industries, your truck repair specialist in Grenfell. Servicing all sizes of trucks, SGI accredited. And Prairie Land Rentals. Whether it's for the farm or the backyard, Prairie Land Rentals can help with all sizes of jobs.
There he is. You know what? Before we get into it, Prairie Land Rentals, they have their snowblower sale starting today or tomorrow. Like, how fitting is it? Up to $400 off Husqvarna snow blowers, and you get to deal with the owner. Blam. Yeah, Prairie Land Rentals on Albert Street. Darian, I screwed up yesterday. My bad. I thought Eastern time and all that. It was a very confusing day. I'm still confused on how the heck I won the money line on the Argos beating this 10.5 point favorite. Like, come on, man. Like that was pretty wild, right?
And that was just a great calculated bet by yourself. And I mean, look, if you look at the history of this season and the matchup between these two teams, I mean, it was a 16-14 game and a 14-11 game. So it's very low scoring, and that tells you that Toronto's defense had a pretty good clue of how to stop that Winnipeg offense and how to contain the big playability and the running of Brady Oliveira. So just a great defensive job, and we have to take our hat off to Ryan Dinwiddie, man, to have that team ready to go.
What did you see anything that they were doing to make Winnipeg uncomfortable and go away from that running game?
Well, I think that the main thing is they can control the run game with their front. Whenever you don't have to bring extra guys in the box, and you can still play your zone coverages and protect the back end with your front 6 or 7 guys, then you give yourself a great chance to win. And Toronto's defensive line just matched up well with the front of Winnipeg, and they didn't really have to blitz to stop the run.
How do you dissect or how do you put into words the what Ryan Dinwiddie and his staff did as well, right?
Man, I mean, you can't say enough about Ryan Dinwiddie and just the game plan that they had going in. How calm and how you could tell that he was in Arbuckle's head that entire game. It was just it just seemed as if Arbuckle was being coached as he was playing. You just had that feel. And you look at his history in Calgary, what he did in Montreal. Ever since he became a coach, because he's a good friend of mine and former teammate, and ever since he became a coach, he's just had such a great impact on whatever quarterbacks he's been around, and the success just seems to follow him. So hats off to him, man. He did a hell of a job of getting those guys ready to play.
Did we maybe not give Arbuckle the credit? And then we talked about it, though. We even talked about it here, is Dinwiddie was thrust into like his first ever, contest. And it's like, here, you're in the Grey Cup. Did we maybe not give enough credit that Arbuckle is not a raw rookie? He's not a young guy. Like, he's been around and dealt with pressures and different. Heck, he dealt with the pressure of not having a job. So did we maybe not give him enough credit?
100%. I think we underestimated Nick, his success, his ability to run a team, and he's had 27 to 30 starts in the CFL, so he's had success.
Yeah.
And he had opportunity to start when he was in Ottawa. I mean, he was looked at as a guy who could maybe be the next franchise quarterback there. So we definitely underestimated him. And I mentioned it on last week about Ryan Dinwiddie has been in this situation, so he understands. Coming into a game of this magnitude and being ready and what not to do to give the game away. Ryan had a few mistakes in his Grey Cup start, and mistakes are going to happen, but he did a great job of just putting Nick Arbuckle in position to have success.
Yeah, hey, DA here. Watching the game too, I got it. Like, it felt like Toronto always felt comfortable. They knew what they were doing both on offense and defense. The game plans, obviously everyone was comfortable with. On the other side of the ball, easy for us to sit here on Tuesday and say, why weren't you running it? And we've had that. To me, obviously that Winnipeg coaching staff came into the game thinking we're not going to be able to just run the ball. Like, and do you, have you been in that situation where?
Yeah, I mean, look, they matched up twice this year, and very, very low scoring games, defensive battles. And going in that in the trenches, who has the advantage, and it was the Toronto defensive line. And Winnipeg knew that, and you could tell that they were trying to do some things to be creative in the run game to make things happen early on. But Toronto's defense just didn't waver from their game plan. They knew that when things needed to settle down, that Winnipeg wanted to get the ball to Oliveira. They had their staple of run plays that they like to run. And Toronto just had the advantage up front, and there was nothing Winnipeg could do about it. And they kept the game low scoring until the second half, and that's when the defense was just able to take over the game.
As a guy that's thrown a number of footballs at a high level and in Grey Cup games, when that happens to Zach's finger and it doesn't look too good, he's got to go. Obviously, they got to freeze it and then stitch it, because he's not. I would think that he's not taking the stitches without freezing. And then, we got an issue there, and then it's like, now throw with a glove. It baffles me he's never thrown with a glove before. You think he'd practice that, especially with the weather in the West. But as a quarterback and a guy that's been, take us through that and what you saw and what you would have done in that situation.
Well, it was an innocent-looking play, but you could tell that Zach was uncomfortable. And then, for you to need stitches, you definitely have to numb that finger. And I couldn't imagine having to throw with a numb index finger. It's your guide finger. It's how you control your the velocity, the touch, everything you need. It comes off of the index finger. So for him to not have any feeling at all, and to put on a glove and go out there and try to compete, man, that just shows his toughness, and that shows that the competitor that he is. But you can tell on some of those throws that he was just missing a little bit of power or a little bit of touch here or there, especially on the corner route he underthrew. I think it was his first interception of the fourth quarter. You can just tell that he just couldn't guide the ball the way he needed to. And, I couldn't imagine just having a numb index finger trying to go out there and sling it, man. There's no way.
So, Darian, DA again, we were talking earlier just about the game itself and the Grey Cup. And, pre-game, the CFL kind of they decide how we're going to introduce the players or the teams. I know back in 2013, with you at the helm, there was that desire to, let's bring the rider tradition into the Grey Cup, bring them out, have the team come out together. We were sort of pitching to the CFL, I guess, if they're listening today. Why isn't that the case? Like, why aren't you bringing those traditions on? And would you be a fan of that as a player, obviously, given what transpired in 2013?
Yeah, for sure. I think that, each team and each situation is different. I enjoyed the single intro where you come out as yourself, and I enjoy the team aspect of it as well. So I was lucky to experience both, and it just depends on your team, the guys, the coaches. I think at least the team should have the option to, whether they want to come out as a team or individuals, because, some guys like to come out, they have their pregame ritual where they, whether they jump up or it's smoke or it's fire, whatever the case may be. Some guys are used to doing that. I know in Montreal, they're big on, self-introductions out there. So it just depends on the situation.
Yeah. The Ray Lewis dance, everyone's kind of got it. Got something. Yeah. Okay. We won't get into a lot of NFL here, but okay. No, are the Steelers for real? Are the Los Angeles Chargers for real? What do you see in NFL? I'm not going to ask you anything about the Cowboys today. I don't want to make you depressed.
Yeah, I think the Steelers are for real. We'll start there. This was their first real test against Baltimore. They won some cupcake games, as we like to say in football terms, but this was their first true test, and they passed. They're still the Steelers of good defense and run the ball and not turn it over. And Russell Wilson's the perfect quarterback for that. Manage the game. And then when you look at the Chargers, man, look, I don't doubt Jim Harbaugh. It doesn't matter where he goes; he has success. Jeez. And he's doing it again. And I think he's had the most success in the NFL, what he did with Colin Kaepernick and the 49ers. And this is no surprise to me. I knew that once he was able to get with an NFL team with a quarterback that he was comfortable with, and he'd have success. So the perfect time to get out of Michigan. You see what's going on with them. They're not playing very well right now, and just to go to Justin Herbert and be able to get with one of the best quarterbacks in the league is just a good situation for him.
If I could sprinkle on a future for next year for the Chargers to win the AFC, just to win the AFC, man, they what he's doing in 12 games in or whatever it is, it's crazy. Okay,
he doesn't even have his guys yet, right?
Yeah, I know. Okay, before we let you go, we went around the horn with Arash Madani earlier. Everyone brought in their pick, and you can say Kansas City if you want. But the question we have, and Colson's writing it down here: who is the team that beats the Chiefs this year in the playoffs?
I'm going to say it won't be in the playoffs, but it'll be in the Super Bowl. I'm going to say the Detroit Lions.
Oh, see that? No one. Yeah. We have a Philadelphia, but we got our first Lions in the Super Bowl. There you go. Yeah. All right. Apologize again for not knowing what the time is out east yesterday, Darian. Thanks for making it work today, and then we'll catch up next week.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Right on. It's Double Talk with Darian Durant, brought to you by our friends at Prairie Land Rentals. $400 off. Husqvarna snowblowers. Never been better. Get in there. Deal with Jeremy and his team. You get to deal with the owner. And also brought to you by Wolf Industries, your truck repair specialist in Grenfell, servicing all sizes of trucks. You don't want your truck breaking down in weather like this. So, Detroit. Yeah, Detroit's looking buttoned. Yeah.
I love it, too, that they just keep the pedal down. There's no stopping. Like, they're just, I don't care if we're outgaining you 400 yards. We're going to make it 500.
I heard some stats of like Goff and his percentages, and like it's like never been done. Some of it.
It's fun, like watching a team like that. And first, I gotta say, like, I didn't think Campbell would be any good at being a coach after watching that first. I'm like, what's he doing? But they know exactly what they are and exactly what they're trying to do. Like, that team is buttoned down, and they've done very good job, getting high draft picks and making them count. They got guys all over the field that can play. They're fun. They're fun to watch. It's hard not to root for them, especially here in Regina, where that's all our cable. The Detroit Lions.
Well, it's not 1990. Melfar superstar?
Exactly. Little Bernie Smilovitz is happy this year, okay?
Bernie.
Pivoting away from football, just something I just saw on the internet. We talked earlier about marketing and marketing misses and things like that with the CFL, and I don't know if this was today, but the PWHL, who has done just incredible things in marketing the female hockey game, they have a new no escape rule, which requires players on a team that take a penalty, which leads to penalty time on the clock, to remain on the ice until the faceoff that resumes action, which is to say you can't get your penalty killers out there until you get to your first whistle. So if you're on the ice and one of your teammates takes a penalty, you've got to stay on the ice until after the next faceoff.
So like an icing. Basically the
Same
icing
as,
rule.
which just says similar to the current no player change rule that governs icing the puck. In terms of, calling a spade,
I'm not following
the offensive side of the game and pushing offense and pushing the opportunity for a team going to the power play to have a greater advantage, not unlike USA hockey for youth, not allowing you to ice the puck. You gotta play without icing in the US youth hockey.
That's legit?
Yeah. When you go down to Minot or North Dakota with youth teams.
So what happens if you ice the puck? You get fined?
It's icing.
Yeah.
Normally on a penalty kill, up here, you can ice the puck.
You're saying on a penalty? Okay.
Yeah, so they're trying to encourage more offense. So in the same way that the PWHL here is trying to encourage more offense, and in that your team's going to the power play, so you're bringing PP1 out, and the team who took the penalty is now having to be tired because they're at the end of a shift.
Are you sure?
100%.
Okay, so we're playing hockey. There's enough of us here today. Alan, you're our goalie. Alan's in net. The sheriff, he's got it buttoned up. Curtis on the back end, Colson on the backup. We're up front. We're working hard down low. Guy breaks his zone. Curtis, because he's lackadaisical, he's that demographic, he takes a bad hooking penalty.
Yeah.
He's going to the box.
Yep.
We all have to stay on the ice?
Yeah, 3 forwards and a defenseman.
For how long?
Till the next whistle.
Well, or you can change, obviously. Like, once the puck's dropped,
yeah,
I could go off, but if we're in our own end, we're not right. Like, it's not like it's just the same as icing call now, right? You ice the puck, you got to stay on.
You're tired, okay, and then you can change.
Yeah, you don't have to stay out there forever.
This is why Shink.
I love it.
This is why Shink should coach. You know what I do if they're tired? You know what I do? I change my goalie. Gives those guys a breath. Then I put them back in. It's the all new Sportscage streaming.
The sheriff doesn't want to come out of the net.
Sportscage.com.
620 CKRM on location.
Well, good evening. It's Cody Glyden here with the Leroy Leisure Lotto, and just drive safely out there tonight, all right? And, maybe you're looking at your vehicle going, I don't know if she's going to last another winter. Maybe we need some winter tires here for this vehicle, but you're in a bit of a cash crunch right now. Well, maybe you could use the winnings from the Leroy Leisure Lotto to help out with that. Tickets are $100 each, 3 for $250. 34 chances to win, including that grand prize of $130,000. Now, in all of those draws, if your name is drawn, you win that cash prize, but then it goes right back into the draw drum for that big one, the grand prize, the leisure package, or $130,000. $30,000 that you could use. That money is yours. Call right now, 1-866-925-3769. That's 1-866-925-3769.
Husqvarna wants you to remember when you were a kid, watching Switchback in the nice warm house while your parents were outside shoveling snow.
Make it quick, I'm watching Switchback.
Well, now that you're the adult and shoveling snow is still a drag, get yourself a Husqvarna snowblower from the local team at Prairieland Rentals. This is no big box store. You deal directly with the owner, who knows Husqvarna, and a guy who would always answer, make it quick, I'm watching Switchback. Prairieland Rental, 600 Albert Street, prairielandrental.com.
The Dark Hall Presents series is proud to present J.J. Voss and Friends Saturday, November 23rd, featuring Megan Kelly and special guest Dean Cush of Faster Gun. Don't miss J.J. Voss.
And all I know is I wanna go home. All I know is I wanna go home.
Tickets at the Dark Hall box office and at darkhall.ca. SCMA legend and legacy award-winning Faster Guns Dean Cush.
Yeah, you're back again.
SCMA multi-award winner J.J. Voss.
I'm playing for keeps. I'm looking for you.
J.J. Voss, Saturday, November 23rd at Dark Hall in Regina, featuring Megan Kelly and special guest Dean Cush, part of the Dark Hall Presents series.
I'm playing for keeps.
Bidding is now open for the timed online land auction for Lane Douglas of Cardiff, Saskatchewan. Register to bid at macauctioncompany.com. Up for auction, 3/4 sections of certified organic farmland in the arm of Mount Pleasant number 2. Got land to sell? Call the Saskatchewan Land Auctioneers today. Bidding closes on the Douglas land this Wednesday, November 20th at 10 a.m.
That's the timed online land auction for Lane Douglas. Bidding closes November 20th at 10 a.m.
Yo, it's your furnace. Sorry, I caught a cold. Actually, you should be apologizing to me. I heard that Aero Plumbing and Heating will tune up your furnace for only $129. So I'm gonna sit back and relax while Aero makes me feel all warm and cozy inside. You go ahead and visit aeroplumbing.ca and get that scheduled, huh? Aero Plumbing, Heating and Air.
The all-new Sportscage is live streaming from our Century Studios in downtown Regina. Watch now at sportscage.com. Be part of the show by texting 306-936-6262. 620 CKRM.
It is greasy out there. Take your time. We're getting Dan Croft just sent a video personally to my cell phone. He's driving, I think, back to Lumsden. And, yeah, it's not pretty out there. SJHL games, they canceled 3 of them today. Yorkton was to host Melfort. That's kaput. Weyburn, Melville also canceled. And Battleford's in Nipawin. Postponed, not canceled. They're going to have to play them at some point. Kindersley and Notre Dame still set to go in Wilcox. Hopefully everything goes there. And then Medicine Hats in Saskatoon to take on the Blades in the dub. And Swift Currents hosting Tri-Cities tonight as well.
During the break, I got a call from the sheriff's parents, and they want to know why you're pulling the goal, why you're changing the goalie, and why you don't think the sheriff is capable of playing goalie during penalty kills. And that
isn't that the truth? The way that youth sports is now, I would get a call. Oh yeah, maybe that's the reason I don't coach. If you missed the part before the break, you really missed out. That's funny. Hey, how about the Boston Bruins? They turfed Jim Montgomery.
Yep,
today.
Jeremy Swayman's parents weren't happy.
Associate coach Joe Sacco, love that name. He's in as interim head coach. The Bruins aren't doing that bad. Like, when does Nashville make a coaching change?
Are they the biggest disappointment walking right now, or is that the Medicine Hat Tigers?
No, Medicine Hat's on the climb now.
They're coming
Medicine
now?
Hat's coming now. Okay, here's what we talked about yesterday. You're a guy that's been around a lot of junior hockey. You watch these teams play, and then, because I get in some messages from people in Saskatoon. They can't trade Molendyke. We will riot. It's like, Kate, you don't know what a riot is, first off, Saskatoon. But I'm like, settle down. If they're not good enough, they're going to know. And the managers and the coaches are way smarter than us. So if they think we maybe can sneak in, we can maybe get one round, maybe two, they'll know. And if it's time to reload with some assets, that's what you do. So Saskatoon, they went heavy last year. They got to get some items back, some capital back. Swift Current, the same thing. Like Ryan Schweitzer, I think, is going to join me tomorrow and talk about the Broncos because they're overachieving, but they're good. They got Brady Burney lighting it up. So you got to trust the good managers know what they're doing.
100%. And we talked about it earlier in the show just before Alan Millar came on, but in 2014-15, the Pats were in first place in the East Division and sold their top 4 guys because the question becomes, do you have the pieces to go the whole way? Do they have the cupboard to make deals to take them over the top with the current group? I doubt it, coming off the last number of years and some of the big deals that they made. So while you are being successful right now, the Eastern Conference is often not what it takes to slug in the U.S. division and in the going across into the West in the playoffs. What's successful with the current group if it means to the chagrin of future success?
Well, and just like that's the added complexity of junior hockey is you don't want to get stuck in Mediocreville.
Yeah.
Right? You got to make a call and go, we need to, if we want to be able to really compete 2 years from now, 2 players can make a difference. And so you got to make that call, right? It reminds me of my buddy at NHL draft for the playoffs. He'd pick, he was Czech, so he'd pick all the Czechs. And we're like, what are you doing? You have a player from every team. He's like, I'm guaranteed to have half go through after the first round. I'm like, you're guaranteed to have half gone. Somebody is picking all of the Oilers, and they're going to go win the cup. You're guaranteed to finish middle of the pack. If you don't make those types of decisions, I feel like that's what you're saying. We're always going to be mediocre.
The interesting other complexity to it when we talk about Saskatoon specifically is that their general manager is Colin Priestner.
We talked about this, yeah.
And they own the team.
Owner son.
Which is very similar before my time, but the understanding of Brent Parker as the general manager of the Regina Pats.
Good point.
When he was looking at making moves with Jordan Eberle's and guys like that who didn't end up getting moved. And it's where that balance comes in, and I think, Colin has done a great job the last number of years, but one of the knocks in his early tenure as a general manager there was that he was too close to the players and too connected as friends and not as business associates. So, I think when it's all said and done, I think they'll do the right thing, which is to move some of those players and to recognize that, as you said, Medicine Hat's coming, and they're, they were supposed to be the number 1 team in the country at the beginning of the year. There's a lot out west, and they're growing. They're getting better. It's hard to say.
This was a lot of fun. The 3. Hey, having 3. We'll do it again. Thanks, boys, over there at CNC Sheriff. Sorry I had to pull you. We'll make it up for you. We'll give you some garbage time when we hammer that team from tomorrow we're back. I think it's we got Harry with me today or tomorrow, Wednesday. Drive safe out there. Geez Louise, don't forget you can get anything you missed in podcast form, whether it is the Alan Millar interview talking about the departure of the Vaughn twins, Arash Madani, the SJHL report for Saudi Mainline Chrysler, the new king of trucks in Saudi with Benny Walchuk, Glen Suitor, and Darian Durant. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you in 21 hours.
620 CKRM on location.
Well, good evening. It's Cody Glyden here for the Leroy Leisure Lotto. We've been telling you about it all day. We're going to tell you about it all day tomorrow as well. And we just want you to have an opportunity to win $130,000. You work hard, you deserve a chance at winning $130,000. Or maybe you want that leisure package. Instead, your choice of half-ton truck, that comes with a travel trailer, and then your choice of the Sea-Doo or 2 Polaris ATVs. Second prize is that hot tub. Maybe you've been out shoveling all day. Imagine sinking into a hot tub with that sore back, sore hips, sore joints. Oh, wouldn't that feel nice? Or $10,000. $5,000 is the third prize, plus many other cash prizes. $100 each for tickets, 3 for $250, 1-866-925-3769. That's 1-866-925-3769.
He's at it again. Matt's sharpening his pencil to save you big money at Matt's Furniture. Now till November 20th, save more with Maytag. Check out the Maytag front load washer with extra power.